Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning. Got an absolutely amazing broadcast lineup for you this morning. Only thing that's missing is you. Only thing that's missing is you. So we want you to come on in and be a part of what we're talking about, be a part of the conversation, and definitely be a part of the discussion. All you have to do is give us a call, 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Give us a call. We love to have your input. We're gonna talk about something today, and we want to wake some people up and hopefully shake them up a little bit so that they can know to go out there and make some things happen. We want to see people make things happen in this day and time. There's many opportunities out there that a lot of people are not taking full advantage of. And so that's one of the, let me see, I got a little hissing going through my system here. Let me see what that is this morning. Okay, good deal. Got that taken care of. Yes, we want you to be able to actually take care of all the opportunities that you have out there. You have so many different opportunities, so many different things that you can do, and we want to make sure that you take full advantage of all the opportunities that you have. And so, what we're talking about today is we're talking about stop living in the past. A lot of times, what people do, they live in the past, they get caught up on something that happened or something that held them back in their past. And so, we're talking about stop living in the past, do something today. Stop living in the past, do something today. Make things happen for yourself. Um, we're not gonna sit here and mope and whine and talk about things that has held us back. We're not gonna talk about those things that's held us back. We're not going to focus in on those things. We're going to focus in on the positive things. We're going to focus in on the things that are working in our on our behalf. We're going to concentrate on the things that are making a positive difference on our lives. We don't have time to worry about yesterday's mishaps, things that about yesterday that were not pleasing to us, if you will. So we're talking about stop living in the past, do something today. I think we have Adrian with us. Adrian, are you with us? Adrian, are you there? Adrian is actually doing some
Yeah. Rahid, I'm here, man. Sorry about that. I was just getting off the truck.
Okay.
What's the question for me?
Well, we're talking about a lot of times people things that happen in a person's past come back and haunt them, and they don't take full advantage of opportunities that they have, and they make all kind of excuses. And what we're talking about today is stop living in the past, do something today. Stop living in the past,
Hmm.
do something today. Adrian, what do you say to that?
You know what I say? I say that's absolutely 100% correct. You know, things, sometimes you might think that things are meant for your bad, they really meant for your good. And I personally have learned to look at every situation in life that I thought was negative and I thought was a loss, and I counted it as gain.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I lost my father many years ago. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And growing up without a dad, I have a strong mom, real strong mom. Love her right there next to God. But one day when I was about 16, the Holy Spirit came to me and said, Adrian, said, I know you miss your father. He was a good man, a great man, everybody tell you that. He said, but I took your earthly father so that you can look to me more as your heavenly father.
Come on.
And I promise y'all, I still miss him. There's days that I wish my dad was here. Next month will be 30 years.
Mm,
December 28th will be 30 years
mm.
since we lost greatness. But I promise you that I feel encouraged.
Yes, sir.
I've been waking up every day this month right here, coming up to the last, 60 days to the commemoration, and I feel so encouraged.
Come
I
on.
feel encouraged because I know God was here then. He was in him. He's in my mama. He's here now. It ain't nothing that God has not seen me through. Everything I can tell anybody out there in America and around the world, what you think is for your bad, it just might be for your good.
Yes,
Just
sir.
learn how to look at it
Mm-hmm.
in that light.
That's right.
I'm
That's right.
good.
And so a lot of times what happens is, brother, a lot of times people they get so caught up, man, it ain't gonna work for me like this. I tried this before, I tried that before, and it didn't work out. And they get caught up on their failures. Um,
Yeah.
they get so caught up on their failures, and because of the fact that they get so caught up on their failures, they don't look at the positives. Okay, let me see.
Yeah.
Somebody called me on my regular phone. Lord, my Jesus. They must not know what I do in the morning. And so a lot of times people get so caught up on their failures, man, and they don't concentrate on the positive things in their life. They don't concentrate on the things that they really need to concentrate on. Okay, we got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning. It's Toya with the T. Hello.
Toya with the T. Good morning, young lady. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Toya, and I'm glad you called in this morning because we have a topic that I know you're gonna knock right out the park. We're gonna knock it right out the park. What we're talking about is this. And first, let me preface it by saying this. A lot of times people get so caught up on the mishaps that they have, the missteps that they have in their life, and they don't want to move forward and do the positive things or look at the positives in their lives. And so what we're talking about today is stop living in the past. Do something today. Don't let what happened in your past hold you or pause you from getting where you need to get to. Don't let that hold you back because God has something in store for you. And maybe he was taking you through that bad situation to teach you something that you need in this situation. So Toya, what we're talking about is stop living in the past. Do something today. What do you say to that?
Hey, absolutely, man. You know, that's why I stopped because when I went down on timeline, I heard someone making a comment. I think it was you saying the same exact thing. And, you know, it brings a multitude of things to my mind. You know, Jesus didn't stay stuck in the past. He rose again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he didn't stay where he was 3 days prior, you know, but not for nothing. It's like the sermon that my pastor gave just recently. He said, Jesus had the disciples on the boat. They were washing their nets.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they were probably wrapping it up for the day, you know, and Jesus said, go try it again.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And when they tried it again, they had already tried it. They had been out all day.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? But when you put Jesus on it in it, he said, no. Go try it again.
Automatic voice message system.
I'm sorry.
And when they went and tried it again, their nets were so full, their ships almost sank. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to that past, everything's for a reason. It made you a better fisherman. It helped you learn how to guide the seas more. It taught you how to know and where to recognize where the fish were. You understand what I'm saying? So oftentimes the devil uses our past and condemnation to deceive us, to keep our eyes off what God says. But we need to always remember what God says.
Yes.
Okay, you're right, devil. Now it might be scary, but what did God say in the end?
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about that end, you already know your past ain't got nothing to do with your future.
Exactly. Sister, I'm gonna tell you something. You preaching this morning. You preaching because that's what people need to hear. Because I looked at something with TD Jakes a while back, and it's a little different while staying the same. But he was saying we hold on to different things that people has done to us as well, and we don't want to move forward because of what people has done to us. And he said he gave an example of a young man that something happened to him 30 years ago. 30 years ago, and he held on to this thing for 30 years, and when it came time for him to approach this person because he saw the person again and hadn't seen him in so long. When he saw him again, he reminded him, "You remember that you did this, and you remember that this happened." And the person that did it to him didn't even remember it. Didn't even remember. But this person held on to it for 30 years, and the person that did it to him, he said, "You remember when you did this to me?" And they didn't even remember, Toya.
Mm-hmm.
We hold on to things that we should not hold
me.
on. Go ahead, sister.
That's me. And I'm just gonna be honest. I've been dealing with the Lord on this a long time, but one day the Lord had to ask me, you know, I was left that not true. And I felt entitled to do certain things because of what I had been through.
Yeah.
But it was like at 40 something, the Lord asked me very recently. He said, Toya, he said, how old you was when that happened? I said, yeah. I said, 9. He said, how old you is now?
Mm-hmm.
I said, 43. He said, I'm asking you one more time. What year did that happen? How old you was? 9. He said, I'm asking you again. How old you is? I said, 42. I said, oh, you right.
Yeah.
He said, now, just look at it. You've been blessed since then.
Yeah.
You've been saved since then.
Mm-hmm.
But you holding on to that entitlement of what's been going on got you from, that's what keeps you from wanting to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Holding on to that right there, it helps you want to keep from doing the right thing. And until you understand, girlfriend, that happened when you was 9, you is 43 now. What is you going to do? Is you going to focus on what I said you can have? or you gonna hold on to that? And I had to make a decision, and I had to let go because I
Yes.
want everything
Yes.
that God said I had. What you said, Lord? You said I can have all the riches, the glory, the abundance,
Come on.
but in exchange for.
Mhm.
Okay, then I had to make a conscious decision for my flesh to let that hurt go and forgive him.
Yes.
And here we
Yeah.
go. We on our way.
And I'm gonna tell you something to you. You know how, and I hope that you know and you understand how much power and strength that took in you to let it go. That's it takes so much strength for you for sometimes to let stuff go like that, man. And it's powerful. And I applaud you. I really do. I applaud you for being able to get
Thank you.
past that
Thank you.
situation. I'm proud of you, man. I really am. I really am. We got another.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's true. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning, Raheem. Morning, Glow family.
Hey, Captain Leonard, what's going on with you, man?
Morning.
Not much. Not much.
Leonard, we're talking about this morning. We're talking about, and you know how people hold on to something, man. People hold on to something they don't want to let go, or they won't let it go, and they say that I can't do this, or I can't do that because of some of the situations that they had in their past. What we're talking about today is stop holding on to the past. Do something today. Don't worry about what happened back then. It happened. I'm never the one. And I really don't like it when people say just get over it. I never like that, so I would never say that. But my thing is, you have to get past it. You have to do something today. Don't let that hold you back for what God has for you to do today. So, Leonard, what do you say to that? Stop living in the past. Do something today. What do you say to that?
Well, really, it's really sad that some people deal with those types of things, but the very fact of you not wanting somebody, you finding offense with someone telling you to get over it, lets you know that there's an issue.
Yeah.
Because if you ain't over something, you under something.
Come on.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So the very fact that you offended when somebody say get over something lets me know you're not even in the right frame of mind to receive the lesson in that. You understand what I'm saying?
Clarify for me. Go a little deeper for me.
It's because one, if you're under something, all that pressure on you,
yes,
all of that causing you not to live a life of abundance, don't you want to be over that?
You would think, right?
Get over it. That's what that is for. Get over it. You can. We sometimes we find offense with the medicine that we need.
Come on.
But you some people will wander in the wilderness for 40 years for no reason at all but their own. Because you won't even put forth the effort to do what is necessary to get ahead.
Yeah.
That's your fault. That's your fault.
I heard somebody say one time.
You have to get over it. So it don't help me to get over something that's bothering you.
And let me say this to you. Let me say this to you, Leonard. I said something about T.D. Jakes when he told the story about a young man that was holding on to something for 30 years. I'm giving you the short version. Was holding on to something for 30 years, and then he saw the person that offended him some 30 years later. Hadn't seen him in a long time, but when he saw him, he went up to him and said, "Do you remember when you did this, or you remember this happened?" And the person that offended him didn't even remember it. Probably didn't even remember. Exactly. But that individual was holding on to it. And Toya said something that was so powerful. She said that God spoke to her, something that happened to her when she was 9. And I don't want to tell Toya, catch us up on that story, because I think that was powerful, and that's something people need to hear. So Toya, help us out.
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of my anger, a lot of things I've done. At 9, I was molested. Real deep story. Very close family member. And I went through some things through it, but now, surrendered. Looking back now, it was like, I'm like, Lord, well, I feel like I've letting it go. You know what I mean? Like I've always done my due diligence to be respectful, and but like I don't know, Lord. Like, I feel like I'm still not going to that next level, And
Yeah.
he's like, well, I need to look at something. And I'm like, look at what?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, the worst thing, that worst thing that you don't trust men about. Yeah. He said, when that happened to you? I said, I was 9. He said, how old are you? Now 43.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he took me back and forth through that for a second because he know me. He know what I need.
Yeah.
And it's like that happened 30 years ago, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't keep using that. Like I know that's why you don't trust men. I know that's why you use that as a tool to do or not do or not get close. But
Mm-hmm.
come on,
Yeah.
you're 43.
Yeah.
It happened when you were 9. You
Mm-hmm.
just gotta let it go and let me. You know what I'm saying? At that point, just trust that I guide you because I used like Leonard is saying. I don't agree with saying get over it
Mm-hmm.
because if you ain't had no man come touch you in your sleep,
Mm-hmm.
you can't tell me to get
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
that
Exactly.
at
Exactly.
9. You understand what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
something that God has to deliver me from because that is another deep. I mean, people kill over stuff like that, touching them. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not something you have to get over. That's just something that you have to be delivered from, man.
Yes.
You
Yes.
can't just up because it still affects you. Even though I acted like I was normal, yeah, I still had jobs. I still knew how to act functionally, but deep down, my heart, man, it wasn't right, and it could have taken me out of here because my spirit and my soul was dying.
Yes.
Even though I'm walking around here acting like I'm handling it to everybody else, acting like I'm over it because people don't just get over it. No, 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 no.
Mm-hmm.
God has to deliver you. He
Yes.
had
Yes.
to deliver me
Mm-hmm.
from that, and I had to let go because that bitter root. That's why I was that angry black woman. That's why men couldn't do nothing with me. That's why I wasn't willing to submit to no man but God because there's nothing you can do because that root of what happened to that for that to grow. How a tree grow? If you
Mm-hmm.
plant a tree at 9, by the time you get 43, how big and thick and what kind of fruit that tree is gonna have at
Yes.
43?
Mm-hmm.
Now imagine that root being in you and you carrying that for 43 years, watering it and not really letting God deliver it or give it to Him or take it from you.
Wow.
Like, no,
Wow.
you're gonna be miserable.
That's just that's powerful, and that's something. Again, I said it when you said it the first time, man. That's something that people need to hear because I think you're ministering to people right now because there's so many people that's walking around with so much in their baggage.
Yeah.
There's so many
Yeah.
people that's walking and see and I don't like dealing with one side. I like to deal with both sides of the coin. That's both male and female. Whatever gender you say that you are,
Yeah.
so many people are dealing with so many different things in this day and time. We have to figure out a way that we can help them move and progress in their lives because if not, they're gonna continue until and they're gonna take that baggage with them. It's gonna lay in the coffin. It's gonna lay in the coffin with them. It's gonna lay in that
And
coffin.
spread it.
And exactly.
And spread.
Wow. That
You know?
yes, absolutely, absolutely. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, it's just
Good morning, Donna. How you doing this morning, sir?
I'm pretty good. How about you, sir?
Hey, doing good. Donna, we got a hot one going this morning, man. And I need to hear your heart. We're talking about, man, stop living in the past. Do something today. Stop living in the past. Do something today. What do you say to that, man? To a person that and it's real easy for a person to get caught up. And Leonard says something. He say, if you're not over something, you're living under it, and the pressures of life and time. And when Toya said about, when you plant that seed and when it grows, man, the fruit that come out of that, man, there's so much tied up in this, man. It's so much. What's on your heart, brother? Adrian, I ain't forgot about you, Adrian. I'm coming to you next.
Two things I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Two things to me. Two things I don't have. Yesterday and tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have no yesterday. I mean, and that's just me. And that's what I'm thinking about right now. I'm trying to get there.
Mm-hmm.
We are to forget those things that are behind, press towards what are behind called in Christ. I'm talking about Christians.
Yes.
Or whoever you want to call it. People that believe in God. Here's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get to the point where I stop being a hearer and a reader, a studier of God's word, and try to live that thing out.
Mhm.
and all I got is right now. I don't
Come
have
on.
no much. If I walk around in everything that has already happened to me, I'll be just as confused as a vegetable.
Mhm. Mhm.
And you make some plans. If you ever want to make, somebody said, if you ever want to make God laugh, tell him your plans,
Mhm. Yes.
because things seldom go according to plan,
Mhm.
especially when you don't ask him about anything. You just do. You
Mhm.
just make a plan. Oh, I'm gonna go and do such and such tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow ain't promised to you. So how you
Mhm.
gonna do that?
Exactly.
So all I can do is walk in my now and try to do the best I can to live.
Mhm.
And 5 minutes from now, I'll see how it come out.
Mhm. That's good. Adrian, are
We
you
let we let we let we let we let people we
Yeah,
let
yeah, I'm still
ourselves
with you, man.
okay? Hold on, coming to you next.
down.
Let Donald finish his thought. Go ahead, Donald. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
we let ourselves down. We let ourselves down by just. I know it's hard. I know it get hard. I know we face a lot of things. But if you let those terrible things continue to throw in your now, you're gonna strain through life. And I know it's hard to do. But again, a lot of people talk about how they trust the word, believe the word, this and that and the other. I'm trying to get there. That's all
Mhm.
I'm saying.
Mhm. Good deal. Good deal. Adrian, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me. Adrian.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. Talk to me, brother. What's on your heart? We got a lot going on right now, man. What's on your heart?
Yeah, yeah, man. I tell you what I think it is with a lot of people is that we are so sometimes when things that hurt us happens, that might be at one of our weakest points, or it might be at a point where whoever done it to us or whatever it was, we think that person should have been looking out for us, for example. Okay. And now, y'all know we hear that old saying, charge it to my head, not to my heart.
Yeah.
A lot of time we as people have to keep in mind that maybe sometimes things that happen, the situation wasn't meant from the heart. It might have just been a brash reaction, maybe something said. And then the good book does say that if you have an ought against your brother, go to him and him alone. And don't let a bunch of time go
But Adrian,
by.
Let me say
know?
this to you. Let me say this to you, Adrian, and I know where you're going, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, how often do people do that?
Talk to me.
And how often do people do that? Because a lot of times when a person has an alt, with you, they don't come to you. They'll go to Jimmy, Sally, Bill, or Betty,
Yep.
and they'll talk to them,
Yep.
but they won't never come to you. And then before you know it, everybody else is talking about the situation that you had, that I had with Adrian. Everybody talking about the situation that I had with Adrian,
Right.
the little fallout that I had with Adrian that probably was nothing to me. It was probably
Yep.
it was something mistaken about what was said to Adrian, and Adrian took it a certain way. When all he had to do was come to me, hey brother, you said this to me, man. I really don't appreciate that. Well, hold on, brother. No, I didn't mean it like that. Let me explain to you.
Right.
Let me explain to
Right.
you.
And see, I'm gonna tell you what it is too. A couple of days ago, we had the conversation about soulmates or people being tied to your soul.
Yeah.
Whether you Christian or Buddhist or Muslim or atheist or any other rest of it, when you allow negativity to sit in your spirit and somebody to plant that negative seed in your spirit, you tie your soul to that negative energy. Just like if you got a positive person in your life or a positive situation, it gives you energy to get up in the morning. It gives you energy to be motivated. So I think we as people have to learn to overcome letting things that people say and stuff that people do. I can tell you about some stuff right now personally. A 30-year conversation, as a matter of fact, that it's a crying shame the way the situation done went, all because of a misunderstanding at the time of the loss of a loved one. And it has caused a war, a generational war and a generational curse. And I'm not happy. God knows in my heart, I'm not happy about what I have seen with my eyes over the last 30 years. I'm thankful for everything, but I'm not happy. So I'm trying to let that negativity myself, like the brother was saying a minute ago and the sister say, the seed that I'm trying to plant. I was talking to my mom about this thing the other day. The seed that I'm trying to plant, I'm trying to reverse that negativity that's done had such a brash effect on so many people. all because one person took something the wrong way. One person heard what they wanted to hear, or they felt some type of way, and ain't none of it the truth, just like y'all said. And if we would have just all talked about or came together, or I done tried it. And sometimes we're stubborn. Sometimes we're stubborn and we don't want to come together too. We don't want to get over what somebody done to hurt us. Let's keep that in mind too. Some of us want to keep mess going and we want to keep hell raised and all this type of stuff. So that's what my thought is right now.
Good deal.
On it.
And my thing is right here, man. I so appreciate Toya, man. Toya came and she actually put her heart on the table, man. And because that's something that a lot of people don't talk about. She said she was molested at a very young age, and that's something that she had to go to God. She had to go to God. She had to go to God. We got another caller. We're gonna go to the caller, but I want to go back to Toya right now. Toya, you had to go to God, and God had to take that away from you so you can move forward.
Right.
What do you say?
Right.
What do you say to that?
Well, yeah, the crazy part, Raheem, was, my father, he was a Christian man. We went to the whole church thing like that. The most significant thing to me was, I remember at 9, and just let me give you the scenario. Very close family member. And I remember laying there when I woke up, it's this grown man, somebody that's supposed to be holding me down, taking care of me. I was raised to respect this person. They're going to look out for you. They're not going to let anything happen to you. And I open up my eyes, this man is touching me. I'm just like crying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my daddy right there. But I remember, I can't tell my daddy, he's going to kill him. I can't tell my brothers, they're going to kill them.
Yeah.
So I remember having not only to be like, I had to get my mind right to deal with it at 9 at that moment. But I remember in my heart, feeling like God was like, don't worry about it. I got you. I understand you don't want to tell. You're right. It probably will. But just know, you just hold on me. I got you. This ain't right. I remember that transition, but I also remember making a spiritual commitment to God at that moment. I will never trust a man, Lord. I'll give you everything. I'll be a good girl, but I'll never be faithful. But I remember just getting my mind right for what was going on. And I remember, I can't act a certain kind of way because if I do, my daddy's going to know it. I knew he was going to know it. And he was going to start acting, I was going to lie to him. So I remember even in that instance to just make sure to play it okay. And this is what's wrong with a lot of us angry black women. You traumatized by something deep you can't tell. I felt like maybe it was my fault.
Feel like a prisoner. Feel like a prisoner to
he even said,
yeah.
Right. He even said, if you tell your daddy, I'm gonna tell him it's them little boys down the street. But now that I look back at it with these eyes, I can see the deception of the devil. But I can also see where God played his part because I knew that my father wouldn't believe him. But something still made me be quiet. And it was like, I know that my father's going to go to jail. I can't do that. And I'd much rather sacrifice this than go to jail. I knew in that instant something that was special about me, about my family, but I just couldn't decipher it all.
Yeah.
So afterwards, we had just had a fire. It was a very vulnerable moment, very dark situation. And my father was basically passed out drunk. You understand what I'm saying? So to just move forward like nothing happened for years, I remember I couldn't make a change, but I remember this was always the going thing in the household. When you get 18, you can do what you wanted to do. So I felt like if I can just hold it down to 18, then however I need to get this out of me, I can do it then.
Yeah.
And I knew I wasn't going to be faithful. I knew, I had already predisposed and chose what I was going to do in exchange for at 9 years old, literally in a nutshell. You understand what I'm saying? And it was just like, I didn't understand that operating in that sin, not giving it totally to God, coming from a Christian background, knowing the word and all of that, even though I thought because, okay, I do all these other things, I just do one thing. I'm just cheating. I'm going to be honest about cheating. I'm not going to lie. And I felt righteous in that. But I didn't understand what comes out of my mouth affected my people. What I was doing, I was devouring men, using them and manipulating them to have sex with them. I knew it was wrong. So to entice them and be this good woman, knowing I didn't have no real good intention, not only did I change men's minds about trusting women because I was a good woman, I just couldn't be trusted.
Yeah.
But I also noticed the soul using them and manipulating, you know, the different covenants and bindings that I put myself in. And as women, when we go doing these things and we get these spirits and souls inside of us and wind up schizophrenic, there's a reason for that. So, you know, there were a lot of things that I went through being a woman, not understanding what I had traded in. And again, I told people, you don't go down for somebody else's sins. You go down for your own.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
it wasn't even what he did to me. It was what I was doing and what I was putting into the world and what I was doing to men not having good intent and what I was using righteousness in because, you know, I made it through molestation and still went to school and still stayed focused and still did this, you know, and because I did it like that and that's that everybody else can make their way out of it. You don't have to get on drugs, you know. It gave me a real sour mentality about people like, yeah, it happens. That same mentality, get over it.
Yeah,
I did it. But no, I had to be delivered, and it wasn't until I was on my dying bed. Thought I was, because I was suicidal too for years. Because after that, I was just like, I didn't feel value. I want to die, but they got makeup. I can make myself cute. I didn't feel valuable, but I remember saying, well, if a man could do that to me, I don't have no value. I must not be pretty. I must not be this, but I got to make sure I'm smart. So at least if I'm smart, can't nobody get nothing on me, and that'll help. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was like I always made sure I was smart. But still, at the end of the day, I had to be delivered. God had to deliver that. There were things in my spirit, in my soul, that it didn't matter what I didn't think. It didn't matter what I believed. Because a lot of people are, I don't think, I don't believe. It wasn't all about that. I had to come to a conscious decision. At 40-something years old, I thought I surrendered. I thought I was a Christian too. But no, I had to surrender. And he had to remove it from me. And it wasn't until I got to that dangling point of death till I really saw the powers of God and how every day we use them and what we say and what we do when you do have sex with someone and you're not making a commitment to them. When you do have a child and you don't make a commitment, it's not about you. It's a whole internal connection that this thing got. And when you're delivered, when you allow God to deliver you and take that, I mean, he will show you. And when you see your wrongs, you can see them in people. You're going to see it in that woman.
Yeah.
Oh, I already know what's going with you. Come in, girl. You understand what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's real and it's deep and it's deliverance. And it's not only, Raheem, a deliverance that because he delivered me from that and I feel free. Like I get it. The truth shall set you free.
Yes.
But because I allow him to deliver it, I'm conscious on a daily basis. Like I'm always on myself. Even when I drift off from the radio station, I feel the roots coming up and I have to get myself back with him. Like, no, Lord, I don't want to get off the right track.
Yeah.
I don't want to get that way. You understand what I'm saying? So I have to go back and fill myself up with the Lord.
Come on.
And be like, okay, nope, I don't want to do that. I want to be a reflection of you. Even if I'm not perfect, I'm striving. I need you to help me, blow on me or whatever. So it's still a struggle, but I had to choose to surrender.
Yes.
I had to choose to be in agreement with God. And I had to choose to really be conscious on everything on a daily basis. Even when I don't do the right thing today, I still got to look at my yesterday and be like, dang, I messed up. But I'm going to keep on going tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And I'm going to tell you, we got a couple of callers. I want to go to those callers as well. But Toya, I'm going to tell you, man, I am so very proud of you, sister. I'm very proud of you. I hope that means something, you know, coming from a little fella like me. I hope that means something. But I'm proud of you, sister. I really am. I keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. I think we got Christy. Christy, good morning. How you doing, young lady?
Oh my goodness. Good morning,
Hey,
morning,
Christy.
What's up, my sister? I miss you.
I know I missed y'all too. You can tell it in my voice. I'm feeling better.
There
You
you
got to be
go.
able to tell it in a voice.
Hey, look at
How
Leonard.
are you?
Leonard, I think they're having a one.
Awesome.
I think they're having a woman moment right now. Leonard, what you
Good
think?
morning, Christy. Morning.
Leonard's in studio with us.
Hey, Mr. Leonard.
How
Hey,
y'all
Mr.
doing this
Leonard.
morning? Hey.
I gotta tell you. You know I gotta tell you when I make something good, right?
Oh Lord. Hold on. I want to hear.
Man,
I want to hear your heart on this topic because we rolling right now. We rolling. We know you don't. We know you don't cook some scrambled eggs. It's okay. But
no. I did a chicken enchiladas. Then I put cheese and bacon in it, and I made it like a casserole. It was delicious.
I love that.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
I know.
Leonard say he wants some. Leonard say he wants some. But listen, we're talking about.
Leonard said he wanted no bacon.
I know, right? We're talking about stop living in the past. Do something today. And how often, Christy, can something of your past? And Toya gave us, man, the story that she blew us away. How often something in your past has haunted you and held you back? And we also talked about TD Jakes, the story that he said about the person, the individual. And we got another caller. Hold on, we come to you next. But the individual held on to something for 30 years and saw the person that did it to him, and the person didn't even remember it. But this person held on to it for 30 years. So what do you say to that?
Let me tell you something, Toya. My heart, my prayers, because I already knew some of your story because we talked, and it's similar to a lot of people, and it's sad to say.
Mm-hmm.
So let me deal with what we're talking. And I'm gonna go back to Toya. Your past can definitely affect your future and your present. Whatever you holding on to, whether it's grudges, whether it's hate, that stuff manifests on the inside of you, and it makes you ugly on the inside, and it tears you up. And it tears you up so much that your body responds to that by illnesses. So your past, if you don't deal with it, if you don't deal with it and come to a place, and I tell everyone, forgiveness is not for the other person. Mm-hmm. The forgiveness is for you.
Yes.
For you to be able to move on, for you to be able to have a productive life. I can tell you, I've been raped. I found out as an adult that I was molested as a child, and I didn't even know because I blocked it out. So when you have all that, I mean, I didn't remember, but my body remembered. I can say that because I had some messed up ideas and stuff. But you know what? At the end of the day, you have to be able to deal with the past and let it, and I know let it go is such a cliche term because you have to deal with it on your own terms to be able to be a productive person, because it plays with your mind, it'll play with your heart, whatever. Like holding a grudge like that for 30 years. I remember, what show was that? It was a TV show or a movie with this guy making a list. He was writing a list of everybody that did him wrong when he was a child. From child up to then, he put the list on, talking about these are people that he had his book stacked, he had everything that he was about to murder, like for real. And he received a phone call from one of the people, and they say, you know what, I got kids, one of my kids are being bullied, I remember what I did to you, I really want to say I'm sorry, and I shouldn't have done that to you. And I forgot what it was, and he ended up saying, okay, sir, no problem. And then he scratched his name off that list. Sometimes we do things to people that we don't even understand how it affects their lives.
Yes. Because
it's all fun and jokes. You know, kids can be the cruelest people in the world. I'm sorry, my kids are mean. Like, kids can talk about you so bad to make you, as kids.
Mm-hmm.
So on that end, your past, whatever you've done in your past, people try to use that in your Christian walk to hold your past in front of your face, like you can't, like God ain't delivered them from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I have a past.
Yes.
I tell everybody I got a past. I got some skeletons in my closet. But the thing about my skeletons, like I tell you all the time, my door wide open. You can see the mugs anytime you want to.
Mm-hmm.
You can see cocaine. You can see weed. You can see sex. You can see whoremongering. You can see whatever you want to see up in that closet is right there. I have nothing to hide.
Mm-hmm.
But those that hide it and have muscles and veins and stuff, because they still feeding it. You still feeding your skeletons because that's why you can't heal. So, yes, your past can affect you if you allow it to.
Exactly.
You have to allow God to come in and clean you up from the inside out, not the outside in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it don't matter what the outside look like, because I used to fake and smile all the time. You smile just to make it to the next. You smile and laugh. Oh, she's such a happy person. But I was towed up on the inside. I was smiling and laughing and talking and thinking about killing myself the next moment.
Wow.
Or thinking nobody loved me or care about me. Not even want to be in this world. Now, I mean, that's why I talk so strong to people that's on their last inch of life, that they don't give up. Don't give up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give in. It's something better on the other side.
Yes.
No matter what you're going through, no matter how hard it is, rape, molestation, a physical, mental abuse, whatever you can write down on a piece of paper, I've been there, done that. Got a hat, t-shirt, jeans, shoes, socks, earrings, and a necklace. I'm
Good
telling
Lord.
you can make it through
Mm-hmm.
with God here.
Yes.
You have to trust and believe in God, and you can make it through. And Toya, I love you. I understand,
Absolutely.
and it's a daily process. Even right now, at my age, I can tell you I have to sometimes tell the little girl in me, shut the hell up. We're going to do this like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes those things talk to you.
All right.
Sometimes those things come back on you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you be laying in your bed and you'll jump up thinking you feel somebody touch you, ain't nobody there.
Mm-hmm.
You have a moment in your life where you think that the person that raped you is still right around the corner, but you have to know that God is real and you're safe, and you have to overcome that. It's just like an addiction. You have to kind of overcome it day by day, moment by moment, hour by hour, minute by minute. But it's not that it cannot be done. And we as Christians can't look down on people with those problems. People are promiscuous because of what happened to them when they were young. They was molested or whatever. So they would come out here and become promiscuous or sell their body or become strippers or get on drugs, get on heroin, get on whatever.
Exactly.
So that's why we can't pass judgment, because I always say I was 1 minute away. If it had not been for God on my side, where would I be today? I might have been a cracked up horse somewhere. I could have been dead, sleeping in my grave. Y'all don't understand. That's why I praise him like I do.
Come on.
I know where I could have been.
Exactly. Let me go to Leonard. What's on your heart? And Toussaint, coming to you next.
Man, I just listen on these topics. I just listen, because I don't. These situations are just horrible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I believe in a God that does things suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately when I'm done with it, God's done with it.
Yeah.
That's just how I've always been.
Mm-hmm.
Because one, I know what comes to try to hold you back. Every time you try to put one step forward, something else wants to push you back.
Exactly.
So one, I fought all my life.
Mm-hmm.
I tell anybody right now, because when you listen to these stories and things like that, I can imagine what I would have done. Because I know me.
Yeah.
I would have had a knife under my pillow.
Mm-hmm.
So every time that Joker that next time that Joker came in there, I'd have proof that he was in there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know how many people are still teaching your children to protect themselves, but don't be teaching your child that somebody else's life is more valuable than theirs.
But see, and my thing is this right here, Leonard, on what you just said. We could say that from an adult mind, but a child.
I was told this when I was a child.
Okay, but Leonard, I need to say this to you. Some people sometimes, yeah, and that's good. That's good that you were. Let me address that first. That's good that you were, but not all people have that conversation. And when you're dealing with a child's mind, they're not adult. They're not developed to the point where they can make all the right decisions, and they find themselves victimized. That's why you have so many children that be victimized, because they're living in a child's mind. They don't have the adult
victimization.
They don't have they don't have the adult mind, and because of the fact that they don't have that adult mind. Yes.
But let me tell you something. That's not true. I taught my children. I'm gonna tell you something because of what I've been through.
Mm-hmm.
I taught my child before she could even think.
But Chris,
I said, don't let nobody touch you.
Let me step in just one second, Chris. Let me step in just 1 second.
Me too, Raheem.
Okay.
Let me step in too.
Okay, I'll come right back to you, Toya. But my thing is right here. The key thing that you said was, I taught my child because of my experiences. You know that not everybody have those experiences. So some people think that they live in this fantastic world where nothing's going to happen to their child until they find them, their child find themselves in that situation. And sometimes the child don't tell you.
Let me tell you this, and this is what I was trying to say. I taught that's what I was about to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because of what I went through, I taught my children.
Mm-hmm.
You don't let nobody touch you what your clothes can cover.
Thank you,
and
Chris.
if anybody touch you, I don't give a darn if it's my husband,
Thank you,
my
Chris.
daddy, my auntie, my cousin.
I appreciate
you better
that.
Tell me. I don't care if they threaten your sister life.
Absolutely.
You better tell me.
Absolutely.
Because I'm gonna handle it. Now, for those that ain't never been through it,
mm-hmm.
like a friend of mine, she never talked to her daughter like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But because she was my friend, I talked to her daughter like
mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it comes a point to where kids feel like they're going to, when you're a child and that happens, you feel like you're disappointed, you feel nasty, you don't want to tell nobody because you're embarrassed or you're afraid of what people are going to do. It's in a child's mind.
I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, Christy, you don't think that my father taught me that too?
Wow.
Yes, I do.
I do. My father had me doing chin-ups at 6. He had me running around the block. I was playing football with guys at 11. I had the milk crates with my dad. My dad taught me how to be self-defensive towards a man before this even happened. And let me just go ahead and drop a bigger bomb. It was his brother.
Wow.
So first and foremost, it does not matter what you tell them.
Mm.
He taught me that too. I knew it wasn't about, he never taught me to value the adult more than him. He taught me he was going to protect me. I didn't want him going to jail. I knew I couldn't tell. I knew it was going to cause a problem. But hold up, let's get a little bit stickier, right? Because let's flip this. When things happen and you with an adult, most mamas don't believe adults.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's what I was about to say.
Check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Let me finish, right? So imagine me at 14 years old stabbing my mama boyfriend who already don't believe me anyway. That's a whole nother world of issues that you don't want to go through
mm-hmm.
that refrains us from stabbing him in his leg. Because I don't want to go through them changes. Please
mm-hmm.
understand, I'm being touched by a man that I know my daddy gonna kill, brother or not.
Yeah.
I know my brother's
mm-hmm.
finna do the get down with the get down.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So to have the thought to kill this man, you don't think that's in my head? But I'm also thinking at 9 years old, this the pressure in my head at 9. If I call the police, it's gonna be a problem. I know how I'm gonna act. I know how they're gonna make it try to seem like it's my fault. He just sat me and told me what he's gonna make me go through. But I know my daddy's still gonna kill his ninja.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So to sit here and say, oh, if I would have had a knife, you don't even know. I'm gonna give you another scenario. At 6 years old, I started having nieces and nephews because I knew it was my uncle. I told them that too. I've been crazy. I've been the crazy auntie. So anyway, I've been teaching them how to fight and box. Let's bring it to the time where auntie got into a physical fight with a man in their face. Do you know what they did? They sat there in awe.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know how to help me. Seeing me fight this big grown man after all I had taught them. I was 16 years old. They were stuck in awe because that's not their life. They don't understand. They didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So they couldn't help me.
Yes.
And I was handling it myself, which made it even more complicated. And now that I'm in my 40s and their 30s, we talk about old situations. And it's like, auntie, I didn't even know what to do.
Yeah.
So if you would have did that, that's fine. You would have caused a whole nother set of events to happen that there's no telling how that would have happened. At the end of the day, you can't tell me what I should have did. You can't say, oh, if I was you, I would have got a knife. You can't because you have no idea.
Mm.
The things that I had to think about on what I had to do next at 9 years old. And it was only by the grace of God that I had an honest father that talked to me about the Lord. He wasn't even one of the parents that be lying, who don't even tell the whole truth. Like the world is just crazy, who shelter their kids. Like, it ain't gonna go down like that, and that's why they can't deal with situations. My father was a G100 with me all the way 100, and that was why I was able to navigate my way through that. And nobody ever knew I was a touched woman. Nobody never knew I was a molested child. Nobody ever knew I was a dropout because I made sure it was on my thing. So please don't do that to people. Please don't have someone telling you, your child come to you and tell you at 30. Well, Mom, this, that, and the third happened. You know what you taught them. Well, that hurt.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one that had to get that happen, have my it taken from me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I ain't gonna tell me what I should have did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's true. That's the real. Hold on, Chris. That's the realness that I love right there, man. That's why we do the Morning Glow, because there's so many people. There's a lot of people out here that's hurting and that's going through a situation. You can't be so insensitive not to understand their pain. They're hurting, and so when a person is hurting, man, sometimes I'm gonna tell you something. Sometimes the best thing you could do is just listen. Don't try to give your opinion. Don't try to tell, well, you should have. Nah, just listen. Because people are hurting, man, and sometimes they just want to get it out. Man, we can't be so insensitive to people that we don't care enough to listen to what they're saying and try to understand it the best that we can. All of our worlds are different, yes, but that don't mean we don't have compassion. That don't mean we don't have to understand. Go ahead, Christy, and Leonard. Tucson, I didn't forget about you, brother. Go ahead, Christy. Christy?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to say this. And I know me. That's the way I handle with my kids. Is I taught them. And I know that in teaching them, at least they know. And if I can't see it, or if it does happen, because I was taught. So that's what I said. I understand I was taught. And it still happened to me. But at the same time, I understand that, when you go through things, a lot of things go through your mind. Yes, it's people who don't believe you when you go and tell them. When I told my mom about her, he was doing things to me, she didn't believe me. I went to my pastor. My pastor said, well, what were you doing? What were you wearing? And different things like that. I said, well, wait, what that got to do with anything?
Exactly.
So when you start bringing things to the light, it does make it difficult. But I understand, because like when Leonard said, he said, you know what, I'm going to just listen. Leonard said, I'm going to just listen, because I don't want to know I don't comment on these things. Yeah. But I know if it had been me, this is the way I would have tried to handle it. So I really honestly, Leonard was like in his heart is saying that, you know what, look, this is what I don't even know, but this is what I think I would have done. Yeah. Yeah. And he would have. And, it's we all handle things differently, and it's not to downplay what anyone have done or what anyone, is not to downplay it or be insensitive, because it's a lot of hurt and a lot of pain, a lot of rejection. Like I say, when you go through it, you feel like, I know for me, when I felt nasty, I felt like I was just the dirtiest person in the world and didn't nobody believe me anyway. So, hey, you go through those things, but in your healing, it comes a point when you're healing, when you're going to God, asking God to cleanse you, heal you. It takes a time. It takes time to get fully clean. Some people are 60 and 70 years old, still battling it. Still battling the hurt and the pain. Yes. Still battling grudges. My mother was, open up to us when she told me she was molested when she was a child, and by her grandpa. So it's way bigger, because I never understood why she was so afraid of me and my sisters and my kids, of being around different people and different things. That trust goes away, and it affects your daily life. It affects how you will have relationship with people. It affects the way you even minister, or the way you handle people touching you. Some people become very promiscuous and say, you know what, I'm just not going to trust a man, and just be out there doing whatever. But some people actually just get themselves to the point to where, you know what, I'm about to protect everybody I know. I'm going to
Mhm.
be the watchdog. I got my 2 feet in, and whatever I see, where I'm going to bark. You know, and
Mhm.
we just have to respect each other
Yeah.
enough to know that, hey, this is very sensitive, and this is a very hurtful topic,
Mhm.
you know, that will put anyone in tears, will put anyone in their emotions,
Yes.
will put anybody in those type of things. But we have to be careful, because when we're in our feelings like that and we're hurting and we're, you know, we're dealing with it all over again.
Mhm. Mhm.
If that makes
Yeah.
sense.
It does. It does.
And if you're not all the way completely then got all of it out, it'll resurface
Mhm.
to the point to where you're just, you know, and so I just have my heart goes out to Toya. I promise you, I feel you, sister. I'm praying with you. I'm praying for you. And anyone on this station, you know, because it's not just men. I read a story on Facebook where this man came out talking about how he enjoyed his uncle coming to help him and his mother when his dad died, or what. And then the next thing he knew that night, he was in his bed
Mm.
molesting him. You
Wow.
know, it's not just, you know, our little boys are at state as well. Look at how many in the Catholic priests that molested so many men, the Boy Scouts. You can look at in households where one of my best friends was molested by her auntie.
Mm.
A woman molested her. So it's not just what we think. You know, it's a lot of craziness. We can look at the news and see how men are sodomizing children. We can look at the sex trade where people are kidnapping children just to put them on drugs and to have sex with kids from the ages of 3 on up to 16. Y'all, this is the society that we have to open up and talk about. What families in here, secrets of secrets of secrets. And those secrets have to come out. I can remember looking at The Color Purple and looking at Celie when she was being raped and had 2 children by her steppa. You know, we look at that and we just go on, but it's a realization of some things that are happening. We can look at many, 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 many people, actors. We can look at stars who tell their stories of how they have to come up from the Grinches or how they have to overcome so many things. That's what made them great. T.D. Jakes has a wonderful story. You know,
Mhm.
it's all these people. Look at Oprah, Maya Angelou. I can name plenty who were molested and raped. Maya Angelou was raped and molested so much she didn't even want to talk. That's why she know why the cage bird sings, because she wasn't talking. Then she began to get healed and she began to open up to tell her story. Oprah Winfrey went through it. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
all have shared this pain. And this
Exactly.
is a pain that is so relevant in our society. We have to find a solution.
Absolutely. Let me go to Toussaint. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother?
I think I'm just listening on this one because you know we say that stop living in the past, do something today, and I listen and I hear. I'm listening because sometimes you can say the recovery, the process is already there, but the way that we conduct ourselves, it has molded us into who we are today, either negative or positive. And that's why I was talking to a young lady, and we always like to give advice,
Mm-hmm.
and she was expressing the hurt that she experienced, and I was saying this. She said, "Just
Yeah.
listen." She
Mm-hmm.
said, "I'm not looking for your opinion.
Yeah.
I don't want no advice. She said, just listen. Just listen."
Mm-hmm.
It took me about a year to start listening.
Mm.
It's kind of like we fault the 3 friends of Job for not saying nothing for 7 days, but maybe they had it right. by not saying nothing, because when they did start opening their mouths and giving advice and start putting blame game on Job, they still had it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And these were wise men. The elder expressed especially. He said, based on my past experiences, basically he was saying, there ain't nobody go through stuff like you going through, unless they done something against their God. You see how we think we got it all together, especially I guess us as Christians, preachers, pastors, all these kind of other stuff, and anything else you want to be. Maybe rather than talking so much, you need to listen. And sometimes we need to listen to ourselves, because the advice that you give other folks, you hadn't heard it yourself.
Exactly. Leonard, anything on your heart right now, brother?
No, not really. Like I said, I like to listen, because the people that need to be talking are victims. I'm not a victim. I don't understand compassion, but even in my forums and even when I do my community work, people come and tell me their story. I listen to their story and I come up with a plan of action. That's what I do. I don't care how rotten the story may be. Either you come to talk or you come for help. Either way, you can have it either way. Here's your hour. But I'm not going to stay there. I'm not going to do it. It's not to be insensitive.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to go. Okay, because
it's not to be insensitive, and you can say it all you want, but people gonna still feel how they feel. This is why you need to let those people deal with this situation. Like Christy, she was a victim. I'm trying to keep other people from being victims. So you need to have that talk today if you haven't had it, because this has not gone away. It keeps happening. And people keep not talking about it and not coming up with solutions for it.
Wow.
Mothers, you should be believing your daughters, or at least trying to figure out why they're saying what they're saying. If you got to put a camera in the room, put a camera in the room. Don't sit around and act like it ain't happening and it don't exist.
Yeah. Okay.
Find out. I'm a research guy. I go for the evidence. Right now, if you got somebody coming at you at night, guess what? I want you to put that knife under your pillow at night and leave evidence that they were there. I taught my child, no one has the right to put their hands on you this type of way.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
I heard exactly what you're saying, but my thing was, and my point, and you covered it. I said
defense
you can't be insensitive
is an issue
toward what it is. I understand. Yeah, absolutely. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Rico calling from Madison, Alabama. How is everybody doing this morning?
Rico, good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Rico.
Man, I know you've been listening in for a minute, brother. What's on your heart?
No, I just got on about 5 or 6 minutes ago. I think I caught the butt end of who was that talking about, Christy?
Toya.
Okay, yeah, I caught that story, man. I caught the end of that, and I think I missed it, because when I caught the end of it, man, I heard a lot of passion in it.
Yes.
But judging by the topic and the little of what I have heard, and we have to really understand why it's so important for us as human beings to have compassion for each other.
Yeah.
And be willing to listen and be observant if we are our brothers' keepers, not just for our family members or siblings that might go through stuff like this, but for other people we may encounter that have been traumatized. It's easy to say, leave it in the past. But the thing is, human biology comes with a programming that creates who you are. And during that programming, some of the things that happen to you will be considered normal. And it might be a while before you realize it was abnormal. It was deviant. Some of these behaviors or traits you may exhibit may be deviant behaviors, but you don't know that it's wrong when you be touching on your little brother, your big brother, your dad to come in and be touching on you. You don't think that's abnormal. You think it's normal, because ain't nobody saying nothing. So here it is, you find out it's wrong. You find out later on, maybe through friends or other family members, it's wrong. Or maybe you just don't feel good about it anyway, and you tell your parents and they tell you, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say nothing. We'll handle it. We'll take care of it. You know, so we have to have compassion, man, because, you know, coming from a child point of view, I wasn't sexually abused, but, you know, I was abused. And I'm going to equate this expectation from a child. People will say, well, you're supposed to stand up and you're supposed to say this and this and that. And it's easy to tell a child that. But sometimes when that child finally stands up, that adult knocks them back down. And I'm talking in you know, I'm talking in parables, but at the same time, I'm talking from experience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as that child that did try to stand up and finally fight back. You know what I'm saying? And you're 11 years old and you try to stand up and swing back on a 33-year-old. And that 33-year-old is sitting there taking you, and then you hit him in the chest and hit him in the face before he finally just take one swipe and knock you slap from your feet to the ground.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sooner or later, you're going to get tired of fighting. So when you start complaining about people and people know about what's going on and they sit back being quiet, shutting up, don't say nothing. You know, so in my lifetime, I have met so many abused people. I'm going to say 85, 90% of the people I have come in contact with have been abused physically, you know, and then as far as women go, our sisters, my Lord, man, when I say another 85% of our sisters have been violated sexually.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And traumatized, and it's terrible how rampant it is. It's like an epidemic.
Mm.
But with that being said, how many of these family secrets are being held in? How many of these people walking around that you meet that look good, got the big butt and the smile, and got all the money and all this stuff that you like, actually going through some misguided programming, some deviant behaviors that they inherited and think is normal? Or maybe they fighting those demons. Maybe they sit back and they cry at night.
Mm.
But you can't look from the outside and tell that they're going through this.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to also get to know people. You know, a couple of days ago, you did the show about soul ties.
Yeah.
Man, you better get to know these people, because you mess around and get with somebody traumatized and like to throw fits when you touch them or something like that, you'll be in a whole world of trouble. Something you weren't prepared for.
Exactly.
And everybody does respond differently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so and that's the thing right there, man. You know, everybody responds differently and react differently. You can't look at them. You can't look at a person from the outside and tell that they're going through this, or tell that you can't do it. It just doesn't happen that way. That's just not the way that's just not the makeup of it. Toya, what's on your heart, sister?
Well, please, anybody that knows me know I'm animated. Don't get it twisted. This is passion. I'm going to speak passion with the moment, with how I feel. So, we can be taken a little bit sideways. So let me apologize to those women that might have been through this traumatically and don't know how to process it and feel a kind of way. Let me apologize. You're not a victim. You're a victor, because you didn't ask for it.
Mm-hmm.
Something very innocent that changed your whole entire life and how you do things with something like that. The devil knew what he was doing, man. But don't ever let how people's opinions and what they say affect, you know what I'm saying, your growth in this process and your truth in this process, because it's a lot of people's truth I'm talking about right now. And that, comment Leonard made, they victims right now, just, it made an eyebrow raise. So I'm just saying, I know some people might be like, what? Don't pay attention. Everybody got they got the right to their own opinion. And if you're one of these people that you know where I'm coming from and you understand this passion, you know what I'm saying? That's what it's about when you are working on healing from that. You're able to accept how everybody, some people got a very messed up mentality when it comes to meditation. That's all you had to go through. I go through that for this, that, and third. You know what I'm saying? So don't get offended ever by different comments that we might hear from different individuals on how, we should handle situations. But I know, because I used to be that girl. Now I don't get offended. Now I'm a beat it to the punch. Now I got jokes about it. Don't nobody ever want me to do no raw comedy on that one, because, oh my gosh, I'm going to kill it. But, I think that when we understand sexual abuse when we understand human trafficking, when we understand sexual assault, when we understand the importance of sexuality and the innocence that's stolen, it'll be a little bit more, um, kinder or more understanding or more careful, with what we say and how we say about certain things. But, the thing that I've noticed that RICO is a very large percent of people who are dealing with sexual violations, men and women, children and adults, some of us even in relationships currently today. But I tell you, so many people will be shocked and surprised when their child tells them, or if they go ask their 30-year-old child, have they ever been sexually assaulted? They say, yeah. You're going to be shocked. You're going to be knocked off your feet.
Yeah.
And then when you actually notice, because one thing I'm learning about this Bible when I go to church, when I talk to the Lord, he always talk about the fruits. Don't look at all the outside, because remember how you masked it up to look real good? Always look at the fruit. And if your children's bad, there's something going on with the children. It ain't got to be that, but there's something going on with the children when they bad.
I was about
you
Toy, I was about to get on you. I was about to get on you, right? Toy, I was about to get on you, right? I was about to get on you, right?
What?
Now look at here. Now you straight out of Brooklyn. You talking all country. The children. I said, oh Lord, no.
You already know, because my father was still from Alabama.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They had their own thing there. That's how I learned how to be with white people. He taught me that too. You don't be like that with them towards you. Me and my father had some deep conversations even about men. You don't let nobody touch you. We never went there, but he expressed to me, I can't teach you how to be a woman, but a man gonna want you to do this. Yeah, a man gonna want you to cook and clean. You ain't gotta do it, but it's consequences with everything you do. So a lot of that had to do with how I handle all of my situations. Like Christy, I was raped again at 19. You understand what I'm saying? By gunpoint, put the car. And by that time, let me say something. I knew to do what I need to do and go about my business to make it out alive. Everybody can't do that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes sexual situations can mean your life. Some of these kids is coming up missing because people are scared that they're gonna tell. And they take their life because they feel like it's worth their life. So, we just really need to get educated on different levels of sexual assault, sexual abuse, how it ties into sex trafficking, human trafficking, prostitution. Even if the person is willing, because most people who are molested like that, prostitution is normally easy. But for me, I'm not with it. I found out early when I tried doing stuff like that, I'm going to jail because I'm not playing about my money. So I can't be no prostitute. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it helped me learn how not to do a lot of things where to some women, having that innocence taken away might be easier for them to prostitute or, strip or things like that because you just don't really care. You know what I'm saying? But we just have to understand and just get educated in different facets, and you'll see how it all ties in, and it gives you such a keen eye to pick up on things, not only in your kid, but also in other people's kids around them. Because as a parent, you think you know.
Exactly.
I just said my parents didn't know. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Let me open up the phone lines. Are open 678-381-1973. We had a few callers that called in. I apologize. I wasn't able to get to you as fast as I would like to, but if you have an opportunity, give us a call back. 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Rico, what's on your heart? And Christy, coming to you next.
Oh, you came back pretty quick on that one.
Yes, sir.
That book Donald wrote. That's very big. I keep bringing it up, and I wish more people would know about it, because the title itself, it really explains the necessity of how we have to treat each other as human beings, because we are all fragile. We are all fragile in some aspect of our lives. As human beings, we have no choice but to be fragile. Our whole existence, and during our existence, we're trying to build up ourselves to be strong, but we're vulnerable also. But with that being said, I feel like we have to always be mindful to not judge people for living in the past, because some of those traumas are just too, they are exactly what the word says. They're too traumatic. You know, anxiety. I deal with anxiety. You know, I know some of the most famous, best orators in the world that deal with anxiety. Nobody knows this. Some of the best musicians and the entertainers deal with anxiety. They get up on stage, or when it's time for them to perform, man, you wouldn't believe the reactions that their body go through.
Yeah, yeah.
But all of a sudden, when it's go time, it's another level that they go to that they have to kick in, and everybody else look at it as natural, and it is natural. But you don't understand how hard it is for them to get to that space where they get above that anxiety.
Enrico,
Like,
is
you know,
that a form of escape? Them being on the stage, is that a form of them escaping on what's going on in their lives and the hurt that they have to endure? Is that a form of that?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what it is. Most times, it's a distraction.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, most people have to find some type of way to find joy, find a way to direct their energy. And if you don't find a way to distract yourself, then yeah, it will just be on top of you all the time. Even with drug addicts, most drug addicts need a distraction. They need a different environment.
Yeah.
They need different exposure to redirect their energy. And sometimes you won't even think about it. So that, you know, a lot of times when you've been traumatized, yeah, you get involved in a lot of activities. Like I said, some of our most famous and successful people have gone through some of the worst traumas, but they did extraordinary things to forget about those traumas or to get past it. It was their motivator. But that's not the way it's going to happen with everybody.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
We have to understand the individuality of people. We have to understand domino effects, and we have to understand sometimes these people grew up thinking it was right. And that's the traumatic part of them, is that they carried on the deviant behavior, not realizing now they are perpetrators.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
Not realizing now they are the one planting the bad seed. So now they traumatized with that. They have to keep on thinking with that.
They become the very thing they hated.
They
become the very thing they hated. They become the very thing that they hated.
Exactly.
Wow. Wow. Christy, what's on
you can't help but live in your past. Your past is who you are. Your past made you.
Exactly. Exactly. Christy, what's on your heart?
You know, the past is who make you and what you are. You know, that's why I often say that my past made me as I am today. Good or bad, beauty or ugly, you know. And it's a phrase that comes to mind: beauty for your ashes. Your ashes, if you ever known ashes, they're burnt, ugly, nothing that you would want to see. But you can turn ashes into beauty by, you can use it to make a painting. You can use ashes to do almost anything. And I'm gonna say this: it's a song that I used to sing when I was a young girl, and it said, "Please be patient with me. God is not through with me yet."
Yes, come on.
And when God gets through with me, I shall come forth. I shall come forth as pure gold. If anybody know how gold is, gold has to go through the fire. Gold has to be burned in the fire. And in that fire, when the fire is turned up on you, you know who you really are. Because you can't fake it no more. You can't pretend anymore. And the fire that I'm talking about is the Holy Ghost fire.
Come on.
The Holy Ghost can search your heart, your mind, and your soul. And everything that's in it that's nasty, defiled, dirty, everything that's in you that's not clean and not pure.
Come on.
The anointing, the fire burns it out and leaves all things pure. It leaves joy. It leaves peace. It leaves long suffering. It leaves a lot there. So when you have been through the grunges, when you feel like you are nothing and that you are beneath, and God say you are above, when you feel like you can't make it now one step further, when you feel like that your life is nothing, that it doesn't matter, that who would miss you anyway? What have you given to this life to make anyone miss you? It's just pain. When you meet the anointing and it truly overtakes you, it lets you know that God has a plan for you.
Yes.
A plan to prosper you and not to hurt you. When you start listening to the word of God and start letting the anointing minister you, it lets you know that we have all, even our best, is as filthy rags. But I've never seen the righteous forsaken or a seed begging bread. You begin to say, I can have joy in the midst of my pain. You will say that even though trouble comes, joy comes in the morning. You'll begin to be able to hold your head up a little higher because somebody died for me.
Come on.
Somebody loved me enough to give their only begotten son that I could have everlasting life. Even though the tears may fall from your eyes, even though those tears used to be tears of sorrow, even though the tears used to be your pain, now you have tears of joy, a tear of praise. You can raise your hand up and say, God, I give you all of me.
Yes.
Wretched and undone. Lord, I'm nothing without you. You can give it all to him.
Come on.
And say, God, no matter what I am or what I was, God, I know you can pick me up out of the modern clay and place my feet on a solid foundation. And God, I know that in you and in you alone, I am somebody.
Yes.
And in you, I am your daughter that you love unconditionally, that you love me so much that I can't help but praise you.
Yes. Come on. Come on. Wow. Good job. Good job, man. Look here, man.
So no matter your past can't hold you back unless you allow it to. Your experiences, your trials, your tribulations, it's like the trials come so God can have his perfect work. So if we don't go through anything, how do we know who he is?
Yes. Absolutely.
If you've never been a drunkard, how you know he can heal an alcoholic? If you've never been sick, how do you know he's a healer? If you've never been in pain, how can you tell someone he can wipe away your pain? If you never cried tears in the wee hours of the night, how can you tell somebody he can wipe away your tears? If you ain't never been through nothing, how do you know who he is? So that's why I have beauty for my ashes. I don't have to cry or let my past hold me because I'm upfront with who I was and what I am. But I am a child of God.
Yes.
Old things are passed away. Behold, I am a new creature.
Come on.
There is now no condemnation in Christ.
Good deal, man. Look at here.
Amen.
Look at here. Somebody's being moved this morning. Somebody is being moved this morning. The lines are open. 678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. Say it one more time, Leonard, for the people that didn't have a pen.
678-381-1973.
There you go. There you go. Toya with the T. What's on your heart? Talk to me. Some people being healed today.
Yeah, man. No, listen, I'm all about the future, man, because, you know, when I think about the Lord, man, and I think about the things he delivered me from, the things that he's turning into beauty, yeah, I got to be willing to move forward, you know, and everything he talked about this morning, you're right, it was emotional, it was dark, you know, that did happen, you know, you're right, but I delivered you from that.
Yes.
Now what? You know what I'm saying? So now we moving forward, man. It's 2020, all this stuff that happening, everything we all done been through our whole life, you know what I'm saying? We put it at the feet of the Lord right now. And we move forward from today. You know what I'm saying? It's always a forward, even if I don't want to go.
Yes.
You feel what I'm saying? And I think that's something detrimental that I learned throughout this process of the Lord delivering me. You're right, it did happen. I'm glad you do know how to speak about it. But you really ain't let it go on the inside. And I had to be, be willing to let go and be delivered. So moving forward, y'all, this is where we do teach others. This is where we are not shy about it. This is where, we do move on. This is where we can deal with comments that sting. But the armor of the Lord is going to help you be able to withstand that and keep on fighting, because it's all the war. The things that we do say that come out our mouths, it causes things to happen, because when God spoke, it caused things to happen. And we are very loose, even myself, with my own self, with the words that happen. But now I got to think about, okay, that did happen, but why am I in this situation? Why am I here now? All the choices, all decisions, everything you can't do, everything you can do. If you're not where you at, what's the problem? It's the Lord. So as I'm talking to the Lord, he said, Toy, you know what your problem is? You smart, but no. You overcome all that, but you still know what the problem is. You don't apply it. And I had to really analyze that for myself, because can't nobody tell me nothing.
Yeah.
Only the Lord got the heart, really, first and foremost, because we all be playing. We really just can't go to the people and just be all the way 100 things honest with them and take it and not have no qualms about it. So moving forward, if we really done got over it, we can have these conversations. Moving forward, we can have something be said and sting us and it not break our spirit and not make us not want to keep going forward. You can fight, you can struggle, but the next day you still better be getting up, dusting yourself off, moving forward, because God said he gonna give you the beauty for them ashes. How much work you gonna do to get the beauty? We do all the work for the destruction. You know what I'm saying? We have these things happen, and I'm not gonna follow the word of the Lord and get married, or some of us tell ourselves, whatever we choose. That's the man's law to get married. Oh, that's the this, that's the that. Whatever you choose, it doesn't matter what you think. What matters is what it is. And until you come back in line with the Lord, your life ain't gonna be that great, that peace, that you never want to give up on the joy of the Lord. There's no amount of money you can put over that. And until you actually experience that, you're not going to know. Everything else is just kind of what you do. So moving forward, y'all, just keep going. God at the top of your day, and he's going to be there no matter what you go through. You got to, because I'll make the wrong mistake and be in trouble, but through God's grace.
Yeah, come on.
Like, I'm still here.
Absolutely. Yes,
Before I go, because I have to go, because I'm going to open up and I'm just a line of people out here. Okay. I just want to say to anybody that's not healed or that's going through or that's at their last, I implore you, talk to somebody. I implore you to get on your knees and cry out.
Come on.
Because you make one step towards him, he'll make two to you. And I don't know who I'm talking to, but we all been through some hard times. Nobody on this radio that's talking to you or that's here ain't been through something.
Yes. We
all have been through our struggles. We all had some trials and tribulations that almost knocked us out. But I'm here to tell you, the stronger you are in the spirit, the stronger the forces that's going to come against you. And as long as you're dependent on God, you're going to make it through whatever the devil throw at you. You're going to make it, because victory is already ours.
Absolutely.
We have already won. God has already won. Put on the whole armor, because we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but we wrestle against spirits in high places. And you have to talk to that demon and tell him that whatever you're telling me to do to harm myself, I speak against it. And if you don't, I'm like Toya, if you don't make it today and you make it, you go ahead and cut yourself today. But tomorrow say, God, I need strength not to do it today.
Yes.
Every day you sit there, you say, God, I need your help to deliver me. Every day you walk towards it, even if you don't see it, even if you don't feel it, even if you just think that nobody's there, you just keep on saying, God, show me. Bring me somebody to show me they love me. Lord, help me through this time so I can, because as you keep doing it, you're going to get stronger and stronger
Yes.
and stronger.
Mhm.
And I just pray for anybody right now. I just uplift God right now, and I just ask the Spirit to go ahead and minister to anyone right now that's contemplating suicide, that's
Mhm.
right now that's going through molestation, that's right now that's going through rape, that's right now that's thinking about killing themselves because they just can't take no more pain. To that
Mhm.
single mother feel like that she can't make it not one more day, not one more moment. I send the anointing out to all the young guys, to all the young men, to anybody that's needing him right now, that's leaning and depending with everything they got.
Mhm.
I just ask God to touch.
Absolutely. Amen.
Yeah, I
Amen.
pray my strength.
Absolutely. Likewise. And do the same for us. Definitely do the same for us. We have another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning, everyone. This is Annie from Mississippi.
Annie from Mississippi. Good morning, Annie. How you doing?
Good morning.
All right, I'm doing fine. Let me apologize up front because if y'all hear any whimpering in the background, it's my puppy. I'm taking her to the vet to be spayed, and she's been crying all morning
Oh,
because she
Lord.
don't want to go.
Bless her little heart. Bless her little heart. Lord, my Jesus. That dog said, I know what you trying to do. No, I don't agree to this.
It's time. It's time for her to be spayed, and I would be. I mean, actually, it's overdue. I've been putting off and putting off. She keep on getting out and getting away.
Mhm.
And each time my husband leave that door open, she'll pass through him and go. And I have had to run ads in the paper twice for someone to find her. So this time I had a chip put in her about a month ago. So now I'm going to have her spayed because I don't want her going out there to the neighbor's dog.
No, look here. See, you're just taking all the fun away from the dog. You're taking all the fun away from the dog. Dogs want to have a good old time. You know, dogs want to have a good old time. But listen,
a good old time is going to cost me money. I mean, and puppies and all this other stuff. I ain't got time for no good old time.
I heard you. I heard you. Listen, we're talking about stop living in the past. Do something today. And the young ladies that's on, they told about situations that happened in their lives of molestation and how to, and the hurt that went along with it, and they took their hearts out. I'm gonna tell you something, and they took their hearts out and they placed it on the table for the world to examine. And I know it helped somebody that's listening. I know it helped them. So I'm asking you the question, and we're making a statement to you: stop living in the past and do something today. What do you say to that?
Yeah, my heart go out to anyone that have ever had to deal with molestation, because there are, so many individuals that walk among us that is really sick, and they will try, they'll go after children. Just recently down here, we had a guy that was a sex offender that had got out of jail, and he did not register as a sex offender. And this guy just randomly, when looking for a child, he went to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and a little 8-year-old girl got off the bus, and he just chased this child, just started running, trying to grab her. And this child ran, and she screamed. Her mother heard her screaming. Thank God her mother was at home, and she called the cops, and he went into the woods, but they found him somewhere recently. So there are many people out here that is sick, and the scars they leave on people in these children's heart. These are almost lifetime scars. It takes a lot to live past that. It takes a whole lot, to move past that. And people don't understand. That's why I always say, and I used to tell my daughters the same thing. Stop just letting these guys come around your house, especially babysitting your kids. Because, there are some sick individuals out here. There really are. There are mothers, and I don't want to get mad this morning, but there are mothers that leave guys at home to babysit little boys and girls, and they out there working these little jobs and stuff, and these guys think they're babysitting for you. I mean, to me, that makes no sense. And then when the child starts to act out, anytime this individual is around, those are signs right there that something is wrong. But there are so many individuals out here right now. And these women, I don't get it. I don't understand why you would leave a sorry piece of trash, a bum, in your home while you're working. I don't get that part. But anyway, a child has to deal with this for a long time. These are things that torment them and trauma. It's there. You have to have counseling and everything else. But I thank God that there are many people out there that have went through that and they learned how to press past it. It wasn't easy. It's never easy.
Yeah.
But I'm just grateful for the ones that did not allow those sick individuals to hold them hostage for life. So that's what I'm happy about.
Yeah, exactly. Toussaint, what's on your heart, brother?
I had to call in back in because of what Toya said.
Mm-hmm.
Toya said there's always a forward, even if you don't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, don't want to go.
Yeah.
And they stay into the what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing I wanted to say is that sometimes we set our children up for something to happen, just like what Annie was saying. That $5 an hour, $7.45 hour job, 2-3 of them, is so important that you leave this guy with children, and he high, because he don't have a job. He don't have to be high. He just his mind is towed up.
Mm-hmm.
And then here's another thing that I see. We don't have ponytails and little girls anymore. We dress them up to look like little models, and we think that's cute. But you got a lot of warped minds. It might not bother me. I might not respond to that. But Joe Blow down the street, he's looking for when they get off the bus. And then we don't talk enough to our children at dinner table to have the majority, to have conversation of what happened in today. And then we so busy. The child, I always had a problem with people not listening to their children when they wanted to say something, especially in these days we live in. When we was coming up, we were told grown folk talking.
Yeah.
Going somewhere and sit down.
Mm-hmm.
But when our kids are talking, we better listen.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We better listen. You're not that busy. That job is not that important.
Mm-hmm.
People talk, we worrying about this and that, but our children are being hurt, molested, used and abused and sold out. Before you know it, you're so busy, your child is down the street and now you don't know where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
And they take. So when a child wants to talk, listen.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, busy, making $10,000 a year. Get you a better job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's easier said than done. And not only that, these are all of us in these ministries. Stop saying the same thing over and over again, what you heard when you was talking. It don't apply in these days we live in. They don't apply. We're not in the cotton fields no more.
Mm-hmm.
We got cyber terrorists, we got cyber molesters.
Mm-hmm.
They spend 6 months monitoring your child on Facebook because everybody tell all their business.
Mm-hmm.
So when at a certain time, they act like they're a little boy too. And before you know it, your 9-year-old or 8-year-old is meeting some guy down the street because they think that's another little boy.
Yep.
And that's a grown man.
Mm-hmm.
We got to pay more attention to what's going on. We got to upgrade our mindset, especially because people are not out and about no more because they have the virus. We have all this drama going on in the government, and people use dangerous situations or calamities to prey on people.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's why they send you their cash app,
Exactly.
and you pay for it.
Leonard, the situation that Annie brought to the table with the man getting out of jail, out of prison, should have been registered as a sex offender, didn't do it, and went somewhere else and chased this child down the street. Now, had the mother not been at home, it could have been a terrible situation for that child. What do you say to that, Leonard?
What I usually say with people, I don't believe in protecting molesters and things like that. I believe you should increase the penalty in the time. There was a recent bill that did that here in Georgia as well, but it needs to be taken very seriously. You need to go to prison.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about at a minimum of 10 years. But so you have too many people who are sensitive to these people.
Yeah.
And so you give them the right to get out, and then you ain't got enough common sense to watch them. You want them to register for your own sake so you can use that for your purpose. But it ain't protecting nobody. Before you released him, where was the committee that sat so the victims could come and let them know that that person was being released?
Probably out in the same community.
So if you don't want to see, and everybody take a different approach, and then you hear people like, yeah, that's a horrible thing, and blah, 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 till you find out your son has done it.
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, you want to show some compassion?
Yeah. Come on.
For this rapist? Where does that come from? See, I'm not that guy. These people know fully well what they're doing. They predators. They gonna keep doing it as long as you believe that they gonna do better. They will use that to take advantage.
Yeah.
They gonna get right back out and do. How many times have you heard rapists get out of jail and within
Rape
6
again.
months they right back raping?
Yep.
Raping used to be punishable by death until they found out how white men love to do it. And the laws became less and less and less. And then you started adding all this other stuff to it from the other side of the coin.
Come on.
But now it all wound up. Well, now you don't want to believe what kids have to say. That's what society does. Instead of coming up with strict standards and moral codes and character of behavior, you want to listen and see how you can let somebody slide. Well, you know, they a teacher and they've been in the system and they're helping kids. I don't care what they've been doing.
What about the ones they hurt?
This is what they did. What about them?
Yeah.
I don't never come from the offender's point of view. I'm not on that person's side. You can plead your case to me all you want to. If you did this, sir, you're going, or ma'am, you're going to jail for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then we will talk about it.
We'll talk about how we're not going to let you out this time.
But if you keep thinking that this is making excuses for your husband, making excuses for your boyfriend, making excuses for your daddy,
Your son.
what you think gonna happen?
Yeah. Come on. Ain't number one truth. Let's tell it.
So there's one side where you show compassion, and then there's another side where you punish. I don't believe in supporting wrongdoing. We got to stop doing it. It don't matter. My mother sat and watched my brother go through the court system because he was guilty of what he did.
Yeah.
Saved and sanctified.
Come on.
Boy, you shouldn't have done what you did, and it don't matter that you my son.
You was wrong.
You was wrong.
Yeah.
I remember a testimony, Miss Connie, a woman had to kill her son because he couldn't act right. Miss Connie say he was wrong. He's dead because of what he done. I can't hold this against her.
Yeah.
See, when you standing for righteousness, the obstacle don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Be right. This is why I fight like I fight, because as a child I was taught as long as I was right, it was worth the fight.
Yes, sir.
I don't sit down, I stand up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't shut up, I speak up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's one of them Jesse Jackson moments you just had, that boy.
But you got to do it.
That one of them Jesse Jackson moments. You just say it again. I don't, whatever.
Just saying, you got to do it.
Yes, sir.
You every time you allow that devil an inch, he will take a mile.
Country mile.
And then you will find yourself sitting there going along with the bull.
Mm-hmm. You clean it up. We clean up real good, Emma. You clean it up real good.
Dr. Lowry told us, get in the way. Remember Lewis?
Yeah.
Get in the way.
Yeah.
Do something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You just gonna let the folk just run over you and trample you?
Exactly.
You gonna wait for them to come to Jesus?
Mm-hmm.
For what? You'll be dead by then.
Yeah. A lot of you will be. A lot of you will be. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning.
That Bishop.
Bishop.
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing this morning, sir?
Man, I'm wonderful, dog. How y'all doing?
Hey, doing good. You been listening in?
I've been listening.
What's on your heart? Talk to me.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, what is the topic? Even though I've been listening, I'm listening to sexual predators not registering, incident that took place, great words of encouragement, talking about the ashes and how you can paint a picture of it. But what is the topic of the conversation for this particular morning?
Stop living in the past. Do something.
Stop living in the past. That is beautiful.
Do something. Stop living in the past. Do something.
Well, you know, people that live in the past, they're sitting on this little stoop where it's not a whole lot of leg room, and they're holding themselves back, guilt or guilty for whatever they have done in the past. They can't move to the next level of life. We have to let go of what was. Some things ain't worth holding on to. Issues, conversations, even physical altercations. You got to move on. You can put yourself either in a box because of an incident that happened to you, and it happens so many times, so many different people's lives. I'm going to speak, and on today, and just share the story of my trauma that occurred to me while I was serving in the military.
Mm-hmm.
And during the process, I became a victim of sexual assault, drugged, and being taken advantage of. And that thing hurt me for so long. And I had a lot of anger, a lot of frustrations. In my mind, I want to kill somebody. In my mind, I want to kill myself. Those things became a weight. And I then turned to alcohol as my comforter. My wife, I married her, and I married young with both, and I didn't trust her. I didn't trust anybody. I was blaming her for what happened. And this is my past. And one day she told me, she said, you have to stop drinking. I'm going to leave you. And you need to get some help. What's going on in your life? You need to talk. Sometimes people don't want to talk about their journey or their plight, their situation. And moving forward, as she began to, we're having problems. She wanted to file for divorce. And I tell people a lot of times, now what we are now is not where we started.
Yeah.
My feet, I was sitting on that little ledge dangling, and I didn't know which way to go. And through her, and she talking, she said, you need to get some counseling. You need to let go whatever it was so that you can move on, because yes, you are a great father. Yes, you are a great man. You are a provider, but you are not happy. You are not happy. And finally, I decided to speak with a counselor, and I'm going to bring it back. I started going to church, and I started going to church more, and the preacher was preaching, but the problem was still there. But the words were bringing me up. And, I can recall some of the sermons that my late Bishop Lucas would preach to me. He preached to the congregation. And he oftentimes talked about forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth to those things before I press towards the mark. And no matter what, you still have to press. And it's always good to hear scripture. And it's always good when someone tries to encourage you, but they're not living in your heart.
Yeah.
And the scriptures do sound good, but they ain't where my help is right here. My help is not right here in the scripture.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I need? And then I went and talked to a counselor, and we sat and talked, and I had to talk out the incident. And I didn't want to talk out the incident, but I had to talk it out in order for me to be able to release.
Mm-hmm.
And you keep your mouth closed. You don't want to talk to anybody. You don't want to share your situation because people are ready to judge. One of the things somebody said when I told them I was raped, they said, "Oh, you must be gay." Why I got to be gay? I was a victim.
Mm-hmm.
I was drugged
Mm-hmm.
and raped by a fellow soldier, a man. So I got to be gay because that happened to me. Well, you were weak. So you can't talk to everybody.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So now, where was I weak? What part of the conversation, being drugged, did you miss?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you shouldn't have got yourself in that situation. I didn't put myself in a situation. This was a fellow soldier. We were friends on base. I didn't know he was gay. I didn't know he was looking at me, licking his lips. So don't tell me I put myself in a situation. That's why I couldn't talk to too many people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But see, what I did, I had to learn to let it go. And then I had to realize, what is my destiny?
Mm-hmm.
It happened for a reason. Someone needs to hear this story. Someone needs to hear this testimony. Letting go of the past is a great topic. I love it, man, that you come up with this. Well, that God laid it on your heart to talk about.
Yes, sir.
The past.
Yes, sir.
Because our past can either do one or two things. We can either learn from it, or we can bury ourselves in it.
Mm-hmm.
I chose to learn from it and never allow myself to be a victim of that type of situation ever again.
Absolutely.
At the same time, I went on to become very committed to myself and do anything I could to help others.
Mm-hmm.
I became a law enforcement agent.
Yes.
To help those who are less fortunate. I got into politics so I can help those, so we can introduce legislation to keep or not allow individuals to be victims and allow them to get the help that they need.
Yes.
So my focus became a mission to protect the innocent and or those who cannot protect themselves, as some would say.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to shut up after I say this.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever look at Lion King, and Rafiki took that stick and hit Simba on the top of the head. And it's an ow. That's what some things happen in our lives was. Ow. Then he asked, why did you do that? He said, it's in the past.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Let it go to the past.
Exactly.
Not the situation. Let it go.
Good deal. Good deal. Rico, what's on your heart, and Toya coming to you next?
Man, that's big, man. I'm glad Bishop called in. Right after I finished my last comment, I had to go back and look at the topic.
Mm-hmm.
And like butter, Bishop called in and hit it where I was gonna hit it.
Mm-hmm.
First, I want to say that I've seen myself when I lived in Jacksonville, Florida. I never saw so many sexual predators in my life. They got a list that they put out. And a lot of times they'll put them in the mail. They'll send it in the mail and let you know when they've been released in your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
But in Jacksonville, they had entire neighborhoods. I guess what it was these were some of the only places these people could live after they got out of prison. Like sort of like halfway houses or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it would be like the neighborhoods up and they would be dotted. And on top of that, some of these people I would see with their children that's out willy-nilly, vulnerable. Some of these same people been touched and traumatized themselves, but they forget, they ignore. They walk in the stores and they ignore the signs up showing the neighborhoods and the streets that they live on, the different addresses and how many are there. And I mean, I'm talking a lot of them. I mean, it's like I couldn't imagine it being that many sexual predators or what I guess what would you call them, violators or whatever, that they have to register when they get out, sexual offenders.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I never saw them in a neighborhood. And so, it really dawned on me then. I was like, man, why is it that I'm aware and noticing children being left vulnerable, but everybody else is not. But when you sit down and talk to these people, they talk about how they were victimized as children. They're vulnerable to other cousins, maybe a few years older than them, babysitting while mama go to the club or party, you know, a daddy gone. I mean, just so many different ways that it can happen, mainly because children are left vulnerable. So, you know, it amazed me to see so many people ignore the atmosphere that's still out there for it to keep happening. You know, now ignoring the fact that it's a domino effect, and most of these people are going to repeat what they were taught because, like I said, it was normal to them.
Yeah,
they got gratification out of it. You know, it was, you know, they reached the climax and got, you know, then they're gonna say something about me saying it pleasure. Some of these people got pleasure out of what they were doing, and so they're gonna keep speaking it and they're gonna pass it on down to somebody else. But now going back to the topic, as a person is being a counselor or a therapist to somebody, once you find out somebody is like this, you have to make sure that you counsel them in a healthy way, because they can heal, but they can heal in a healthy way or in an unhealthy way. They can heal to a point to where they start saying WAP is women's empowerment. Or maybe they saying, you know what, a man's supposed to whoop if a man get mad and get disrespected, he's the first thing he's supposed to do is knock your head off. Aggression, you know, toxic masculinity. There's so many different ways we could heal, and it could be healthy or unhealthy. But the biggest thing is we always have to remember to get people that go through these experiences to use those experiences to motivate them to do better. That's the whole point of a counselor. You want to heal them for positive, but you want them to first not contribute to the same behavior that made them self-destruct and work against themselves for so long, or repeat the same behavior. So it's all about, you know, when I looked at what you said, it says stop living in the past, do something today. That's huge. Do something today, not only to make yourself better and feel better, but do something today to make something better for somebody else that may be vulnerable or has gone through this. Tell them after you listen to them, because they need to be heard. They're going through it. They finally opening up and they're telling you, like Bishop said, I'm pretty sure he held that in a long time. I mean, you know, who wants to not be able to sit down and tell somebody, man, look, I got this on my heart. I can't sleep at night every time I say, but you know, like you said, stop living in the past. Now I'm gonna lighten it up a little bit. Some people need to understand that they got to stop living in the past by glorifying talking about their glory days. You know, what you did in Pee Wee League football, and what you did in talent shows in 8th grade, or when you made $18 an hour at 19, don't mean nothing when you 59. And half of those things you glorify, you probably souping it up and exaggerating it a little bit because you still ain't accomplished nothing today. Do something today. I don't want to hear nothing about how many touchdowns you ran in 8th grade. We're about to be 50 years old. I don't brag about playing the saxophone no more. I was great at saxophone. People still bring up the fact that I played saxophone. I ain't picked up a saxophone in 20 years. That ain't my calling card no more. I can pick it up and work it like riding a bicycle any day. Don't get me wrong, but that is not my calling card. I was the best in the county. I was all state in high school. So you got to stop living in the past. Do better. Use that for motivation. Even the good things. Stop living in the past and use it for motivation.
Do something
do better,
today.
Good and bad.
Do something today. Absolutely. Toy, you with the T. Talk to me.
You know, that's good stuff. You know, and you're right. You know, like I said, tomorrow going to keep coming, regardless if I want to stay in it or not, and regardless if you want to stay in it or not. You know, I think when I think about the Lord, and He said He already done it. It's literally like what that is. He's already done it. Even at 9 years old, I could have walked away making different choices and decisions. Even at 19, when it happened again, I could have walked away making certain choices and decisions. But this is the point where, you know, everything works to your good. because this is a root, we can take it back to slavery with the
Mhm.
sexual deviance that run course. We can really take it back to the garden. But neither here nor there. We're talking about today. You know what I'm saying? We can understand this, and because this is something that is a very key spiritual
Uh-huh.
turning point that causes people to conquer kingdoms and murder. You understand
Come
what
on.
I'm saying?
Come on.
Sexuality is very powerful. We create other little humans and gods to take over centuries and kingdoms. So it is a very detrimental and very volatile thing to the human race.
Mm-hmm.
But with what I've been through, the devil might have thought he used for people good. God can use me to set people free through that.
Come on.
Because,
Absolutely.
but I had to decide to make a choice to pick up and overcome it. You know what I'm saying? I had to acknowledge that that's the problem, even as a powerful, strong Black woman. How can I call all these shots, this, that, and third? That's why I was the dominant one sexually with men. Doesn't mean it was right, but I got to be real enough to say, nah, Toya, you're not right for doing that. You ain't married because you don't want to be submissive. Why don't you want to be submissive? You keep hopping around the question because you was hurt when you was 9. The two correlate. You angry. You know what I'm saying? It all goes hand in hand. If we keep walking around the problem, God cannot use us. Joseph was mad when they threw him in the pit, but had he not, he only told him what God said. Had he not, it wouldn't have led to where he went. You understand what I'm saying? Like so many different stories in the Bible will tell us. Look at Hagar. We were property in the beginning because man said so. Don't mean it was the right thing. Then here she comes telling me to give myself to her husband. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. And when I do that, you flip on me. And now we got a whole nother chain of events. God don't need no help. But at the end of the day, we got to get up the next day and move forward. And whenever we move forward, and regardless of what individual sin it is, whether it's molestation, rape, whether you the victor, the victim, or you the perpetrator, the only one that can understand, that can deliver you, that can take you to the next level, that can make, when they say that God forget about it, let me tell you something, God will make everybody else forget about it. Oh, the jokes. The only one that can deliver you, no matter what position you're on, no matter what sin is the sin. If we want to be 100, all sins weigh the same. If we really want to analyze it like that. But if you really want to know the truth, to move forward, God is the only one that can deliver you from chains that are in actuality already broken. But you have to decide to get up and let him go. Don't let it hold you back and go for what God said. He said abundance. You don't have to be stuck in that dungeon. You don't have to be stuck in that pit. And if you keep going, you just might be governor. Even if your parents don't believe you, your family don't believe you, they know what they're doing. But just because you want to get up and keep moving forward, you're not going to look back. It's going to make you governor. And it's still going to determine where your family is, man. So at the end of the day, just grab hold of whatever situation, whatever hurdle you went through, man, because it contributes to God's glory. Exactly. And you're going to see it in the end when you're governor.
Good deal. Now, let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
What is the power of overcoming?
Well, I think that's what folks said. Look at what Bishop has been able to accomplish. Look at what he dedicated his life to, the mission, and when you hear, like I had a friend one time, he came to me in the military and he shared a story with me and he says, do you know such and such? Yeah, I know, blah, 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 blah. Well, what do you think he got any ways about him or whatever that you may think that was suspect of what? I think he tried to do something to me. Well, let's go confront him about that then, if that's what you think, because it's best to get things clear. And see, this is what I do, because just like you sit down and have that talk, just as you have that talk, like you had that talk about racism, you need to have that talk about this with your children. This is the first step, is to get it in them that it's not wrong to say something. It's like I usually tell somebody, people say, well, if you do, I'm going to kill you. Well, he probably going to kill you anyway. You understand? He don't mean you no good no way.
Yeah. Killing you by not killing you.
Like I said, you got to watch folks that's always threatening you. So they're making a way to do whatever they want to do again. They're going to keep using the same threat to get away with the same thing that they're doing. I might as well, like people guys say, man, I'm gonna jack you up 3 o'clock, buddy.
Yeah. Come on, let's get it done.
Let's get it done. Let's get it popping. Because you keep talking about what you're gonna do, but you're not running up.
Exactly. Sound like you're scared.
You know, and see, I still think of myself as a little guy. So I don't take too kindly to bigger anything larger than me getting into with arm's reach to do me harm. So I naturally defend. My son, for instance, like when you talk about your kids, and I used to tell my son, I don't want you in people's houses or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay, give you permission to go to his friend's house. Okay. So this friend of his, this other little boy, has a behavior issue, I guess. Oh, that's what his mom and them said.
That's what they labeled it.
Yeah, that's what they said. And blah, blah, blah. I said, your son got a real problem. And that's why my son jumped on him. Now, my son in their house, get in a fight with this boy.
In his house.
And then the father grabbed my son, right? And so by the time he called me, he said, Mr. Jones, he came to the house, Mr. Jones, blah, 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 blah. Because he said, your son attacked me. That's because you put your hands on him. See, your son wrong.
Yeah.
He got a problem. This is what his problem was, I guess. He won't be able to do what he want to do. And then when he get mad, he won't start some mess. That same little boy. And I told my son, stop playing with him, stop fooling with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're going to have to whip him every day. And you don't need to be down there fighting every day with this boy like this. Y'all just going to have to agree not to be around one another.
Yep.
But see, even in that instance, my son wasn't going to let this man stop him from handling his business.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. We send our kids to school and then you punish them for fighting back. You don't teach your child to take no punches.
Exactly.
So we have to educate our children, especially little black boys.
Say it.
What are you teaching them? They don't get this from nowhere. Or did you let them have to just come up with it by themselves? What a poor parent you are. They need guidance. They need protection. Like my wife says, he's very protective of his kids.
Yeah.
Because I'm not hearing it, bro. I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it.
And you ain't selling it to me.
No. We're not going to argue about why you attacking my child. Because you've attacked me.
Yeah.
My son, you said, I didn't want to get my son know. He said, well, he don't seem like he cared nothing about getting in trouble. I'm the only trouble my son have to worry about. But he bet not be wrong doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to defend the wrong he do. But we have to teach people to be right, to want to be right, to let them. I was taught that righteousness prevails.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then, and especially there were verses that say, if you're suffering for righteousness' sake, that's different.
Yeah.
From suffering from mess and what you've done. And I tell everybody, you're a victim. It don't have to be right. It don't have to be wrong. You're a victim. Somebody did it to you.
You're a victim until you become a victor.
And if you want to fight now, let's start now.
Exactly.
People used to come to me and they schedule a time or whatever, and we sit and we talk about whatever it is, whatever issue they bring up. And so you have to listen.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I'm sure, have walked away saying, boy, he's very insensitive. No, I heard your story. I'm like a district attorney almost. I can't fight this case for you
if I don't have all the facts.
Because I see something here that does not fit the narrative that you're painting for me.
Exactly.
And before we go forward, I need to get some more information.
You need to tell the truth.
No, it's not that you're not telling the truth or lying. It's not my issue. It's that the way you presented the information to me is what I'm using. It's how you talked about what you did. Like someone said, well, I don't think it's right. I think I was discriminated against. Well, let's see. Well, I don't think it's discrimination. I think that it's a personality issue, but I don't think it's discrimination. Well, I came down here and y'all supposed to help. First of all, you don't come down here talking to me like that. It's my office, not yours. You schedule time to see me. I will help you do whatever you need to do. But don't get this attitude where I owe you. Because remember, I didn't offend you.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
This is not about me. This is about your issue. Help me help you.
Yeah.
This is what we do. We stand up with people. This is what New Order does. We stand by your side in those times when you need the support.
Yeah.
That's what we do. We don't care nothing about nobody's name, nobody title, none of that. We going to sit down and talk to the people involved in this situation. We're going to get this cleared up
today.
And whatever needs to be done, that's what we're going to do.
Good deal. Good deal.
And that's what we should be about when we're training our children or whatever, and stop these myths and teaching them and allowing them to be victimized.
Good deal. Let me do that. I have a caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, good morning. Hey, Leonard, that was refreshing.
Good morning.
I like it like that. Straightforward, straight to the point.
Exactly. Tell everybody who you are and where you're calling from.
Miss Quinones.
Yes. No. Quinones.
Good morning, everyone. It's Anna, and I'm calling you guys from out here from Georgia. My son actually has a break in class, and I was like, let me see what they're talking about this morning. So I got a minute to call in.
Good.
How's everyone doing?
Hey, doing good. Good. Definitely good to have you with us this morning. And we're talking about is stop living in the past, do something. And we have Toya, actually Bishop, and Christy. They were saying about how they was molested and how what it took for them to get over that hurt and that ugly part in their lives, and they're in a much better place right now. And I appreciate them for being so open and so transparent, and because that's what it needs to help people. And so what we're talking about now is stop living in the past, do something. And what's on your heart?
Well, it's true. We have to move forward. I've been through a lot in life. It's no secret. I always, I'm pretty open. Well, I've been open about it for about the last year and a half. I held all of that in, and I was doing myself more harm than anything.
Yes.
I had issues where I didn't want to talk in front of people, in front of crowds. I didn't want to tell my story, so forth, so on. It's been very refreshing to be able to and move on from that. Things happen, and some of us have harsher and rougher things that we've been through than others. I really admired Toya and Christy's story. I thought I had been through a lot till I heard their story, especially Toya. She's been through a whole lot, you know?
Yes.
And with that being said, you always look around and you look at the next person. Bishop's story is, I actually interviewed him. It's wow. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But it's one of these things that, are you going to stay here, or are you going to use this for his glory? Bishop uses it for his glory. I know Christy does, and I know Toya does as well. So it's just a matter of keep moving forward and making positive out of that negative. It was horrible. It was ugly. We've lived things one way or another that are hurtful. But the point is, move on from that. You know what I'm saying? And keep going forward and keep using it to maybe save a life. That's the most important thing.
Exactly.
Or save a soul.
And see, the thing about it is, and we spoke about this a little bit earlier, Annie, as well, is I feel I have a strong dislike. I don't like to use the hate word, but I have a very strong dislike when I hear a person say, just get over it. It happened, it happened this amount of years ago, blase, blase, just get over it. And what do you say to somebody that tells somebody to just get over it?
Well, I've had people tell me at one point or another, get over it. I don't think they thought about what they said when they said it. I think they just made the statement. I think they just made the statement to go ahead and
and just say, get over it. I think they didn't know what to say. A lot of times it's not, I don't think that they really mean the whole get over it. I think it's a matter of ignorance.
Yes.
And we've also got to be compassionate to understand other people and to understand that maybe they don't know what to say at that moment. That's something we're missing in this nation right now, compassion, so
Exactly.
that's just my, everybody's different. And I've heard it before, just get over it. It's not something you just get over. You just learn to live around it and maybe to use it in a positive way.
There's a lot of work in it.
Yeah.
And I always tell people to get therapy. A lot of people will say, well, you're this. No, I'm not. I've been in therapy for 15 years. Just to make sure that I'm balanced.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can't be I talk to a lot of people who, when it's time to do work in the community, and it's a lot you have to talk to them about before they really can get into it. And so I said, first of all, brother, you can't be here in just this notion of just hating people because they're white.
Yeah.
That's not what it is about. It's really not what it's about.
Exactly.
It's about you maximizing your potential despite racism.
Yeah.
But if you want to hold on to the anger, if you want to hold on to, they did this to me and my people and blah, blah, and I did. If you want to hold on to that, brother, you're not going to go no further. You're going to probably wind up back in the cage. So you need to learn how to be more effective and impactful to fight it. What happened to me in corporate America? I went out and dedicated myself full time to activism. To deal with it. And I always would double check just to make sure, am I going too far? Am I doing this? With the therapist or whatever, And so, it's been I've been in AA 3 times, and it was never because I was drinking. I've been in there supporting people. One time I went in there because I was in the military. Whenever you have an incident, they send you to AA if you was in the bar and you had one. And so I guess I was fighting or something.
Oh Lord! So you in that sober and you fighting?
And I don't have to be drunk to fight. So they're gonna send us all to AA. They're gonna send us all to AA. And this woman was just telling me, "Well, did your daddy drink? And when do you like to drink?" And lady, we drank.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have never done nothing to them had they not done nothing to me.
Exactly.
Now you can blame it on the alcohol and call it what you want. But it's not that.
Yeah.
So we have to assess the issue, find out what it's going to take to go forward, because that's really about what it's about when you're working with people and trying to resolve issues is you have to assess it properly.
Yeah.
Because you can't fix nothing if you don't know what broke. You fix my kidneys, but my heart ain't no good. That type of thing. You got some people just want to put a Band-Aid on something.
Exactly.
You can't never forget. But you got to take that energy and refocus it.
Yeah.
Because, like you said before, I think you made the mention before, somebody offended you so many years ago, they don't go on. They don't even forgot what happened. They ain't
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging.
And and it has caused you to keep from living your best life.
Yep. 30 years later, you still holding on to something that they forgot.
Right. It's like, I was holding something against somebody, and if they was to ask me for forgiveness, I would forgive them. But I wouldn't associate with them.
Okay.
But I would forgive them.
Yeah. You forgiving that go.
But I wouldn't associate with them.
Yeah.
The rule that, the sentence I call it is, I'll never speak to you again. So if you have a problem with that, you brought that on yourself. It's not that I did anything to you. You wrong. Yeah. People say, well, you ain't always right. Most of the time I am. Try me.
Oh Lord.
I don't offend. I never try to offend people. They just get offended and they call me.
Leonard took a left turn.
But see, that's the thing about it. And people laugh and joke. But if I ain't done nothing to nobody, so I'm not gonna claim your story. That's why I don't do the we thing, the us thing. No, brother, I have not done that. No, I don't do that. My ways are not your ways.
Hold on, let me pull somebody in, Leonard, because Lord, Leonard said,
pull them in.
Leonard said,
your ways right. Gonna tell on you. So if you tell them, that's cause you doing it.
Okay. Now hold your mic down, Leonard. Hold your mic down. Lord, my Jesus.
Tell on yourself. 678-381-1973.
Call in and confess.
Call if that's what you want to do. Tell on yourself. Don't tell nobody else. Tell on yourself.
Adrian.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back, brother. Welcome back, man. We're talking about
Thank you.
I want to know from you, and when you hear that thing that I find so horrible, when somebody say just get over it. What does that say to you, brother? How do you feel when somebody tell you to just get over it? It happened. Just get over it.
You know, I think sometime in life, it's hard for us to sympathize or empathize with a woman or man unless we done walked in their shoes and been in their situation. And when a person says to somebody else or to a situation, just get over it, you know, we can talk about many different things, different examples, but maybe they haven't evaluated, or maybe the person that's saying that feels some type of condemnation or guilt themselves, and they just want to sham over it and move past it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas then if you truly care about a person or a situation and you want to help that other person or situation heal, you do have to have time to evaluate it, look at what type of psychological, physical, mental, spiritual, most importantly, effects it took on a person. And then you try every day to cognitively make a change towards, you know, to go in the opposite direction. You know, we all make mistakes. Unfortunate things happen to us in life, you know. But, you know, again, we look at the life of Jesus Christ. He was put down in the form of a human. We look at his disciples and those that walked with him. Mary Magdalene, for example, she was a whore, okay? And as a whore, guess what? I'm sure some people probably told her to get over it once she got converted. You know, some people probably looked at her and probably, like we were talking yesterday, probably still knew her as Mary Magdalene, the woman out there in the streets, okay? But she had to get to the point where she said, you know what? I'm making a change, a cognitive change. And that's when you begin to find, you know, your real friends and your real support group is those that stick by you when you have happy days, sad days, up days, down days, and they help you cope with whatever it is. And like the brother was saying a minute ago, then you begin to say, well, you know what? I was crippled by such and such or whatever the situation was. But I'm not going to let that crippling, okay, keep me from enlightening somebody else or helping somebody else to be a better and stronger person. Because I don't want nobody else to go through rape, for example, or molestation or racism, for example. I remember one time I was at a church, and I ain't gonna name the, you know, because no names. I was at a church, and it was some Muslim brothers. They were Islamic walking by the church. Then none of the other brothers went over and greeted them. I went over and greeted them brothers and invited them in to have service, and they worshiped with us. And they were Muslim, and we are the holy Christian faith. So I can't let separation and hate and stuff that people done did a long time ago and even doing right now. There's people that throw stumbling blocks in my right now in my way. The brother that just talked about corporate America. Guess what? I'm a black man in corporate America too.
Exactly.
But guess what? If somebody else want to live with that hate in their heart and do stuff to me, that's your ignorance. I still got to run the race. I still got to be the rock star that I got to be, you know?
Absolutely.
So when the person say get over it, tell somebody to get over it, well, guess what? You help me get over it. Let's see how strong are you. Could you carry the same cross that I carry?
Good
and
deal.
how would you do it?
Absolutely. Let me move on. Got just a few more minutes left. I want to touch everybody. Toya with the T, talk to me. Rico, coming to you next.
Yeah, no, great topics, man. You know, hey, it is what it is. You know, walking in this world, whatever you've been through, you know, when you learn how to endure one thing against yourself that's been casted upon you, you can easily get by anything. And it's all about perception. You know what I'm saying? And walking in truth and walking in faith when you know that you're dealing with people. Because see, the molester is going to have an attitude like get over it too. So a lot of us that, yeah, we do this and we do that, but just look, presidents and congressmen and, you know, people we're supposed to trust have wicked tendencies like this. And it's like, yeah, just get over it. That happened a long time ago. You know, people in high places who are supposed to protect us, you know, are guilty of having these issues, you know, and cast them upon others. And just because the person that got molested dwells in that, and the person that did it moves on with their life and go to be the next president of the United States, doesn't make it any more right.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Everything is going to come back to get you, man. Everything is generational. And that's exactly why I'm standing up, breaking that generational curse. I'm glad it was me, so it didn't have to be my nieces and nephews. And they are free to live, not be bowed by that. You know, I'm glad it was me, because I'm going to bear this burden and do whatever I got to do. Yeah, I do notice that I was deceived now, but that's all right, because the Lord done reminded me, and I got a little bit of time left, so I'm not going to let, oh, it's not 20 nothing. I don't care, devil. You just stole all this from me. I'm 43. That's right. I'm still going to get my PhD.
That's
PhD.
right.
That's right. I'm still going to get more than one. That's right. I'm still going to attempt to own a business. That's right. When I go, it doesn't matter if my family don't believe in me. You know why? Because Jesus' family didn't believe in him. He had to go away and commit miracles, and I'm cool with that. So everything that I've been through led me to this point here. So for me, it's all worth it. So just get to a point to, no matter what the devil threw at us, just understand when you give it to the Lord, it's all be worth it.
Yes, and yes,
Amen.
Look here. We can pass the plate right now. We pass the plate right now. Rico, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me.
Million plate.
Exactly.
I want people that's out there hearing this to realize that we are all human.
Yes.
We got our opinions about certain things. We got our good advice and everything. Everybody gave some very good advice today. And with that being said, some of us still gonna have some flaws, and we might deviate and go back into some of our bad behaviors based on how we react to things that happen to our past. Everybody heals or can heal. It could be an unhealthy healing. It could be a healthy healing. It could be a slow healing. It might take some time.
Yeah.
Depending on the type of therapy that they got. But positive reinforcement really is so key. Healthy positive reinforcement is so key. Like right now, I'm talking on a radio station with some of y'all I talk to personally. Y'all in different states. Some of y'all just met this year in person. Some of y'all still haven't met in person. But y'all are my counselors. You know, and it's very important, even though sometimes I'm the counselor. I get tired of being the counselor sometimes. And I slip up. Now, I made a post last week that got some certain reactions, that were, sort of hard to interpret. But it got a lot of reactions about me needing anger management again, or therapy, because I stopped therapy, and then I heard Leonard made a comment a second ago about people having grudges from 30 years ago. And that's true. Those people will move on sometime, and they've forgotten about it. And so it's up to you to let that go. Now, we have to also be cognizant that sometimes these people that were the perpetrators didn't forget about it 30 years ago, and they still have to bring it up when they see you. So, you might revert. You might revert because they just don't know the violation that they committed. Yeah. You spared them. And you don't had God or whoever to get you out of not doing what you need to do.
You better tell them.
Yeah. That me, like I listen to people come on, and man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I cannot relate to you not one Bible story to get my point across. I can't relate it to you. I don't know the Bible like that. I know the Supreme Creator that gave me this gift of life might want me to have so much respect for it that I realize that everybody else has the same gift, and I got the same respect for them. So I'm gonna try to be as positive as I can with everybody. I know what righteousness is, I know what goodness is, and I'll try my best to do that. But I am human, I'm flawed. All of us are human.
Boy, you ahead of those that sit and read that Bible every day on schedule.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
We're gonna backslide, you know what I'm saying? But we have to be mindful, man, and healing. First, I want to thank everybody. I want to thank all of y'all, man. Y'all really are my counsel. It was so important for me to meet people like y'all, because had I not met people like you, I wouldn't be able to go ahead and say, well, you know what? I have got more potential and value than I realized. It is bigger than just my inner circle. Maybe I am in the wrong environment, because now I got people clean across the United States that I ain't never seen before in my life telling me, man, you powerful.
Yeah.
Don't let these devils beat you.
Shout out to you, Rico, because I tell you, my brother listens.
Positive reinforcement that we get, regardless of where we got it from, it has to be healthy and it has to be positive. And I felt guilty. I said to myself, man, you know what? I'm second guessing being somebody that people could call on and talk to because of the way I acted last night. I got out of character.
Yeah.
But y'all let me know, man. We human.
Yeah, exactly.
You made a mistake, but you know what? You holding yourself accountable. You still trying to be better. Keep doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna say thank you to everybody on here right
Praise
now.
God. Yes, appreciate you, brother. Definitely appreciate you. Let's go to Anna. Anna, what's on your heart?
Well, I didn't know all these great people and wonderful people were all on air. I thought it was just me, Leonard. My apologies to everybody. I was complimenting everybody, and I had no clue who was on air. So
I seen you stunting. I seen you stunting on Facebook, Anna.
So I just want to. I just want to say real quick that it's what Rico said. Toya took it home. Leonard, when I first called, man, he said it as real as it can get. Sometimes people will get an impression of you and not know. He's just straightforward. Like I absolutely love Leonard. He knows that. So just continue being you, and whoever loves you will embrace you. Whoever doesn't, life goes on. There's many people that will. Just remember that. And there's many people you can tell a great story to that will be here for you and not be here for you, and you can change their life forever.
Yes.
And that's what it's about. That's what being a human is all about. So just love each other, and that's about it. I mean, just move forward, positive. That's it.
Hey, Anna, I'm going to tell you something so funny when we talk about being direct. My wife doesn't really listen to the show in the morning, but she'll text me and she'll ask me, she'll say, good morning, how are things going on the show? And I always tell her, oh, this is what the subject about. Raheem is trying to make me mad and press my buttons or whatever. And I told her, I said, now we're talking about sexual abuse and things like that. And there's women on here with the stories. So usually I just listen. No offense to her. Like even in the text, I wrote, not to offend you if you've been sexually abused, but you've never told me about it.
Yeah.
So that's how I am with my wife.
That's right. It's who you are. It's who you are. And you remind me a lot of my dad, your personality, and I think I've told you that before. So I get you. It's like very black and white, very, I think that's part of the military straightforwardness. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that in you. I appreciate that in all of you guys. But
and she says good morning, by the way.
Keep being you, keep being honest. Hey, the ones that love you will appreciate it. The ones that don't, oh well, like
exactly. Bishop, talk to us, brother. What's on your heart? Bishop, I'm about to say it to you, brother. I'm about to say it.
Wake up and go to sleep.
Oh, you said it for me. Okay, what's on your heart?
Man, believe it or not, and my wife, she's in here, she said, this is the counseling session right here. And I'm like, yeah. So here on this platform, people get an opportunity to talk about their journey. And, when Rico calls in or Leonard, calls in, and the comments they make, I mean, it's clear that they have an understanding of trying to help someone reason the situation without trying to belittle them or make them feel bad. Leonard is very sharp when he speaks, but his words are very profound if you listen closely.
Leonard?
Yeah, Leonard.
Yes, you hilarious.
Leonard?
Hold up, man. I need you to say, Rico.
For real? Leonard?
No, Rico. That's it. Because Rico says some wonderful things himself. And I appreciate them. Like I said, I'm always talking about Donald. Well, that's my smooth brother. He is real smooth. He can come back and say some stuff, and he he like a little bit of sucker punch. He does the sucker punch.
Exactly.
So, but I enjoy, and I'm at a point now in my life that I can talk about my situation. So there was a time I couldn't and didn't want to.
Yeah.
But sometime in learning, like I said, my wife was talking about, you need to do this, you need to get this, you need to get some help, you need to talk to somebody. And I would never talk. I would just stay closed up. I was very, very careful about people. Didn't hang out with nobody. Wouldn't even let my children go out and hang out with nobody. But I'm gonna throw it up there because I know we got a few minutes. I was so overprotective of my children, I wouldn't let them go spend the night anywhere. But I would let their relatives, their cousins, come over and spend the night. So when I felt, okay, you know, my son, he's 15 now, you know, he can handle himself very well, I did let him go over to a friend's house. And when he came home, you talk about communication and conversation. I don't have to open my mouth to even know what's going on in my head. I look at your body language.
Yeah.
And he had a lot of anger. So now I'm putting the two together. All right, you up tonight. What your friend do? What happened? Nothing. I don't want to talk about it. I just don't want to go over there no more. I said, no, something happened. He said, you need to talk to me. Let's talk. And he kept it bottled up himself. So when I came out and explained to him and my children about my sexual assault, he pulled me and said, Dad, I didn't want to tell you, but it happened to me. And it just blew my mind. And I knew I was looking at the signs because I was familiar with it. Now, you're a 15-year-old child now, and the person tried to do something, and then they threatened and say, well, if you tell, you know, I'm gonna hurt you. So he kept his mouth closed. So that's why it's important to talk to your children. I heard somebody saying, talk to your children, talk to your children.
Yeah.
Look at that, look and read their body language. Look at their behavior. If it's changed, then something has happened. So me talking to him and dealing with him and trying to do that for him, I can say today I'm very proud because he didn't let the situation bury him. He is now a scientist.
Yeah.
He's a scientist, man, working at NIH with Dr. Fauci. And so I'm glad that he was able to recover. However, the trauma is still there. And I can still hear it in his voice sometimes, but he didn't let that keep him, he didn't let his past keep him from moving to his destiny.
Exactly.
So I just want to say that.
Good deal. Good deal. And the one you said, that smooth fella, he don't call, he back with us now, Donald. I don't know why you think Donald's smooth. Donald, what's going on?
Donald's smooth, bro.
You think Donald's smooth?
Oh yeah, Donald's smooth.
Hey, look. Donald, the same fella that said that ain't worth $5 worth of dead dog meat.
That's smooth.
Okay. Donald,
he might have cut up some dogs and don't sold
$2 nickels. $2 nickels worth of dead
dog.
$2
nickels worth. Okay.
You'll never know what Donald done. Take it to his grave.
Exactly.
Believe you.
Donald, the same fella.
I ain't gonna. Somebody gonna have to live to tell a story.
Come on, Donald. They gonna have to tell us about you when you leave here.
Lord.
Like I told my grandmother when she passed, boy, that old lady was something else. She outlived all people that knew the truth and died with the lies. So my grandmother did not pull no punches and no stops, boy. I'm telling you.
Died with the lies.
What you don't know, you don't need to know. Don't worry about it. Find out for yourself if you want to know.
No, so look here. Boy, look here. If all the secrets came across the line right now, boy, ain't no telling you, Lord, my Jesus. Donald, what's on your heart before we get out of here, brother?
Yeah, you have to watch kids, watch their grades. They was making good grades, or their behavior was good, and all of a sudden they start acting up. They don't eat. You know, they play like they're sick. They don't want to go to school. They don't want to go out and do this. Any kind of change, especially if it's drastic change, you got to pay attention to that.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't say, "Oh, I need to send them to boarding school or go sit down somewhere." No, something's going on.
Yeah,
something's going on. And if they say something, even if you think it's not true, check it out.
Yeah.
Don't be so busy to not check it out. It might be Uncle John, but check Uncle John out.
Yep, that's right.
Uncle John might be a pervert. Just admit Uncle John might be a pervert. And I hate to say it. Even Papa.
Wow.
Hate to say it.
Hate to say it.
And number one truth.
But Aunt Sally might be a
might be.
I'm telling you.
Wow. Well, again,
nobody's exempt.
Yeah. And it's just like I say, man, ain't number one truth. Ain't number one truth, and gotta tell it. And we have to be mindful, man. We have to protect these children, man. We have to protect them. We really do. Toya with the T. Bring us home.
Yes, sir.
Bring us home. What's on your heart?
Amen to anybody out there, man. Great conversation, great view of perspectives. But anybody out there that should happen to find themselves in this place, whether it be by molestation, rape, any kind of sexual assault, any kind of traumatic issue that you've gone through, you need to understand that was just a tactic by the devil, man. God got you 100%. The only reason why it happened to you is because you know you can handle it. We don't understand it. We don't know where it comes from, why it happens. But it's deliverance in it. Not only deliverance in it for you, but deliverance in it for everybody.
Yes.
If we just open up our eyes and look at things with the way of God, man, in some kind of way, if you just lift your eyes up towards the heaven and you call on your Lord, He's going to show you how you can make that tragedy your beauty. So don't get discouraged. Don't be dismayed. Keep your head up. Make sure you call into the show. We have many more stories for you that hopefully will be able to get you through your day.
Absolutely. Now, Anna.
Yes.
Anna, I need you to do something for me. I need you to do something for me.
Yes, sir.
Tell me what's going on at 3:00 today.
Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh.
Yes, at 3:00. If you miss the show, you can watch it in its entirety at www.
Now I say, good God, you said it right. Go ahead.
At www.dkmediagroup.com.
Man, she said the entirety.
Hey.
She hit that entirety, didn't she? She hit it.
Yeah.
Well, she hit that entirety.
She had to think about it.
She had to think about it.
Oh,
okay.
Even with the Spanish accent, I got it.
You got it. Oh, you got it.
You did that. Absolutely. Leonard, if we can have the honor, brother, can you pray us out?
Yes, we finished?
Yes, sir.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you once again for giving us the opportunity to share our lives and our stories as believers in Christ. We hope that someone listening to this call will be delivered today, wholeheartedly. These are the blessings we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Been a great broadcast. Anybody have anything before we get out of here?
I don't know what you're going to talk about tomorrow. It's Black Business Friday.
Black Friday,
right?
yes.
Well, just one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a great many of the Jews knew that he was there, and they came not for Jesus' sake only, but that they might also see Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead. But the chief priests plotted to put Lazarus to death also, because on account of him, many of the Jews went away and believed in Jesus. If your story, think about Lazarus, he was dead.
Yes.
Dead. And the people not only wanted to kill Jesus, they came to kill him because he was a testimony to the fact of what Jesus had done. Tell somebody what Jesus has done for you.
Come on. Bishop.
Yes.
Bishop, can I get an amen?
Amen to that. Amen.
Anybody, look, watch this. Can I get the church? Can the church say amen?
Amen. Amen.
It's time for us to get out of here for the day, man. I definitely appreciate each and every one. Nobody else have anything before we go? Okay.
I want everybody to have a beautiful Thursday, and it was nice and refreshing hearing each and every one of you guys.
Likewise, it's good. Always good having you. Always good having you.
To hear you, Anna.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey,
Is that smooth talker right there? Is that smooth talker that you said that?
That's my man.
Smooth talker.
That's what y'all call.
Somebody was about to say something.
Hey, this is the bishop, man. I want to be studio at the time, but I want to thank God for you and DKM Media Group
Praise God.
and
Praise God.
associates.
Yes, sir.
Because, man, you have really opened up some great conversations. Ones that people don't really like to talk about or afraid because they don't want to be judged. And that's what I love so much about you and Leonard and Rico and Donald and Anna and everybody, all these other, Toya with the T, Sherry, everybody, that call in and make the comments because nobody should judge.
Yes, sir.
This is a conversation, and I just love it. And I want to thank God for you and want God to continue to bless what you do and bless your station and your shows. Because you bring something to the table that America, thinking that the world needs to hear and to know. And to God be the glory,
yes,
my
sir.
brother.
Yes, sir.
Because he is using you in a
God
mighty way. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. To God be the glory, brother. It's all him. It's all him. Leonard?
Good day. Have a great Thursday.
Good deal.
We used to call it a Thumping Thursday.
Thumping Thursday?
Because the weekend started on Thursday. Remember, you used to start on Friday.
Yeah, you used to start on
Thursday.
Man, I used to be in the club Thursday night.
Exactly.
Man, look, you see, don't start, don't mess.
Don't make me have to come on Wednesday.
Look, exactly. Get it ready for Thursday. But listen, Anna, see, you don't know about all this stuff we talking about now, Anna. And I know Toya with the T don't know about all
too
this
young.
stuff.
She was too young to be in. She's too young to be in the club.
I know Toya with the T don't know about going to the club on Thursday night. I know she don't know nothing about that.
That's right. I got to go Wednesday because Wednesday is ladies' night.
Yeah, exactly. Toya with the T, what you know about that? Oh, Toya with the T, she ain't gonna talk about that. Toya with the T, you still with us? Uh-oh.
Toya ain't threatened me in a long time.
Uh-oh.
I miss it.
It's love, brother. It's love.
I miss it.
It's love.
She used to tell me to meet her in the playground.
It's all about love. It's all about love. Listen, it is now 10:02. 10:02. We're about to get out of here for today. We had a great broadcast, and I encourage everybody that's listening to please share the broadcast. Please share this. There's something said today that's going to help each and everybody that you know. I promise you, it's going to help each and every one of us. So if y'all get an opportunity to share this broadcast, share the broadcast, share the broadcast. It's 10:02. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow to be a part of your day. It is now 10:02. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. You all have a great day. Go out there, find somebody, and give them some love. You just might find some love in return. Have a great day, y'all.